would you able to?
I do stop sharing and again continue. So this, I mean, there is a consent which has been asked. Let me
Sure.
share screen, entire screen. Okay, is okay? See my screen?
No.
Not yet?
Not it, Satish.
Strange.
You need to select the entire screen actually.
Yeah, I did it, Naveen Garu. Just a second. Share screen, entire screen, I did it. Now? No,
You're
you
sharing
don't see?
something, but we can see black screen actually.
Wait, sir. Maybe it will take some time.
Okay.
I am just in presenting mode. Now? Possible?
Yeah, it says the screen is being shared and it's just moving
black?
dots. No,
Okay.
it's just a green color
Or
dots.
Naveen Garu, can anyone use share? Huh? You also can share,
We'll
right?
do it.
That's
Okay, then
that
1
is
minute.
better.
I'll
That is better. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can say, yeah, that's better. Okay. So, okay, guys, you introduced yourself and let me introduce before they share the screen. So, this is Satish Reddy and I have around 20 years of experience, out of which 3 years I worked in domain. So, I was a instrumentation electrical engineer in Juari Cements in 2004. So, then I was with the automation industry for 3 more years. So, I have around 17 years of SAP experience, out of which I have done especially plant maintenance or enterprise asset management, what you say now, so-called PM. And I have done many implementations, started with the National Grid in UK and domestic project Cochin Port Trust. So we have done the customer services and plant maintenance there. So then I have done multiple clients in Europe, Air Liquide, Richmond. So across Europe, I have done plant maintenance implementations. So I do have knowledge for the customer services, project systems, and I was with companies called Infosys, TCS, and I worked with Accenture as well. So I have enough experience in PM, guys. Okay, thanks. Do you see the screen of Naveen Garu now?
No, 1 minute.
No?
My teammate is closing the other applications. Just 1 minute, okay?
Okay.
Satish,
So,
National Grid means is it PPL Electric, RI Rhode Island?
No, UK National Grid. So
Okay.
it's metering business. So we have supported some metering business. That time I was in TC. It was in 2007.
Okay.
So the metering business scenarios we have mapped. So there's a prepaid and postpaid meters, right?
Okay.
In UK.
Okay.
Those scenarios we have mapped. Yes, I think I can see the screen now. The initial screen, right? Do you guys also see Expertsoft trainings?
Yes.
Okay.
Sai, give control to Satish, Sai, so that he will be able to move.
Or somebody can moderate. I can say next slide. That's also okay, Naveen Garu. So go to the next slide. Guys, let us start. So we are already delayed by 20 minutes. Go to the first screen. Yeah, thanks. Go to the next slide, please. So thanks. So-called SAP S4HANA. Guys, I have seen transition from SAP ECC 4, ECC 5, ECC 6, and business suite and all this stuff. And now we ended up with a technology called S4HANA. So you might be knowing before we had this R3 three-tier architecture, application database and application base and all this stuff. So now we have S4HANA, which has their own in-memory database. So SAP has their own in-memory database. They so-called S4HANA. They say, sir, I don't see the screen. Now it's completely stopped. Can you put the first screen? Yeah, the introduction slide or whatever it may be. So out of my experience, what I can say is I have not seen many changes in the functionalities way back from ECC 4 till S4HANA. So the scenarios of plant maintenance are still same. So of course, okay, there are a lot of reports they have enhanced, and I can see some of the tables, new tables, and all this stuff. But the business scenarios are same. So I don't see any changes. So let me go through the content. So I hope you all can see the screen now, guys. Can you confirm?
Yes, able to see.
Okay.
Yes,
So okay, so I can see the screen of index. So we have 7 modules here: solution deployment, organization levels, technical objects, function locations, equipment, bill of materials, and serial numbers. So what I can do is I take a typical example and I run through the flow. So it's a demo. So before going through the typical contents, let me take an example. So being a maintenance engineer, I think I do have maintenance guys here in this call. Okay, for example, a typical maintenance industry, we have different types of departments, right? So, or an industry, or any industry. For example, it starts with maintenance, operations, sales and distribution, finance, and everybody, all modules you have, right? Or teams you have. So, if you have any questions, please interrupt me, guys. So, SAP is such an application, we can integrate all these modules, for example. So a PM plant maintenance, we only focus on maintenance of equipments, basically. So we call it as equipments or assets or whatever it may be in S4 HANA technology. So for example, if I want to maintain an equipment, okay, means typically I do a maintenance on equipment every day, being a maintenance engineer. Okay, so to carry out that maintenance, what we do? So we need to follow some operations, right? So for example, I want to maintain an equipment, motor, induction motor. So a typical induction motor, then I have to unplug the connection, for example, or maybe I need a permit to do that. I need to coordinate with the production guys, for example, to carry out this kind of maintenance. So basically, maintenance, we do maintenance of all equipments in industry, right? So this responsible of maintenance guys. So in SAP, what we do is how we maintain these equipments. We map the scenarios in SAP. For example, I want to maintain an equipment. So for example, all the assets in plant we create as equipments, basically. And we do have a concept called functional locations. So I think you can see here a function locations menu also. Function locations are basically hierarchical order structures which represents technical system. Means, for example, if I want to if I want to visit Naveen Garu, okay, Naveen Garu is sitting in a building in Hyderabad, let us say. So I have to go to Hyderabad first and I have to find out where is he. For example, in Hyderabad, maybe he's in Secunderabad and he's in an IT building, a building. So I have to go to that building and maybe he's sitting in a second floor. So exact location in second floor, maybe cubicle 1, for example. So this is kind of function location. So you identify where exactly he is. So this is called what we say in maintenance language, function location. So we install all the equipments at function location. So we identify those equipments at function location, basically. In guys, remember in SAP plant maintenance, we have technical objects, main technical objects we call equipment and function location. So we install equipments at function location, basically. So I want to stress on these technical objects. So we have only two technical objects, main technical objects, equipment and function locations. So we install equipments always at function location so that we identify exactly where is that. So you guys are working in maintenance industry, you know, right? For example, if you have a problem, so there are different areas in industry. For example, you are working in a equipment motor section, for example. Okay, you handle all the motors. So if there is a problem, maybe there is a central control room wherein they monitor every thing, and if there is a problem, how do they communicate? So they give a code to you. For example, 331 BC1. So there is a coding in each and every industry they follow. So for example, 3. So this indicates the section, and 31 BC1 belt conveyor, whatever it may be. So there is a code. So in the similar way, how we identify an equipment is based on the function locations. Huh? So what I mentioned you before example, how we can identify Navin Garu's place, for example. So we can go to Hyderabad, Secunderabad, and there we go to IT building or particular place area, and we go to second floor and we find out him in a cubicle 1, for example. In the same way, there is a structural indicator which we can use to define the function location, basically, and wherein all the equipments are installed at this function location. So this is typical from maintenance, and before that, I can see some organizational levels. Okay, so in typical plant maintenance, what we say is organizational levels. You say client. Client is the highest level. Okay, client is, for example, where we install this SAP, basically, in a system. Then it comes to controlling area. Okay, before going to the next slide, I just brief and then we can go to the other slides. Huh? Client, controlling area, and where we maintain all these equipments, we should have a plant, right? So client, controlling area, plant, and under this we can have a maintenance plant. Okay, guys, let us say if you take any industry, or okay, let us go to an example of a corporate industry, service-based industry. For example, if you take Infosys. So Infosys has an head office in Bangalore, and they have other branches. So they can formulate all the planning and everything in Bangalore head office, and they implement this planning to other offices, for example. So I can say this is a planning plant. Huh? So then rest all others are plants. So this planning plant where they frame the rules and they implement all the rules in other plants. So like that we have in organization level, client is the superior level of organization, and below there's a control area which will be monitored by finance department, and plant, it's a planning plant. Under plant we have planning plant, we have maintenance plant. So for example, planning plant of Infosys is Bangalore, and Hyderabad there is a branch which is a maintenance plant. So they formulate the rules and they maintain, they implement these rules in Hyderabad, for example. So the same way we formulate all the rules in planning plant. So we create a planning plant, and we have a maintenance plant also, and we do assign maintenance plan to the planning plant, for example. So I can say organizational levels, client, controlling area, planning plant, maintenance plant. So this is a typical PM organizational structure. Okay. And I can see here equipment, function location separately, and bill of materials. Okay, there's an important topic called bill of materials. So why do we use bill of materials? For example, if I have a motor, let us say typical induction motor. So this induction motor comprises of a lot of components. Huh? So if we order induction motor, it comes as a one induction motor, but they do assemble a lot of parts inside it, right? Like winding, coil, on the upper frame, and a spark plug or whatever it may be. So all this stuff includes equipment. So if I order an induction motor, it comes together, and a bill of materials is basically a list of spare parts by which we can make induction motor. So induction motor, we need, let us say 15 sub parts to make this induction motor, or 15 parts to assemble to make it as an induction motor. So this we call bill of materials. So this is very useful, and of course this is also, we can call it as spare parts. So for induction motor, we have, let us say, assume we have 15 parts to make an induction motor. Then these are all called bill of materials. So this is very important, and we have to maintain BOM. We say BOM, in fact, short. And next I can see serial numbers. So serial numbers typically, okay, there is a concept in SAP called equipment plus serial number is called material. So this, when we get into the details, we discuss in detail. But just remember, we identify equipment based on a serial number. So somebody follows. It depends on the implementation, guys. So some typical industries, they follow the serial number concept, and some doesn't. So in SAP language, we say equipment plus serial serial number is called material, basically. So okay, you know, all know, right? For example, if in a typical production industry, assume that they're manufacturing mobiles. So mobile, okay, let us say iPhone, for example. So every product will have a serial number. of course, right? So this is an identification wherein if there is any issue, they can track back. Or for services, they can track back based on the serial numbers. You all know this is a very simple concept. Huh? So we do discuss in detail when going forward. Plus, they identify which lot is a problem. For example, Apple is manufacturing a lot of iPhones and which has a serial numbers, and they do have batch numbers, and we have production lot and all this stuff to identify which batch has a problem. So serial number is a very important thing wherein they identify the equipment based on the serial number. Okay. And for example, in industry, if you take any equipment, you do have this board, right? And wherein you have all the details. Huh? What is this equipment number and what is the serial number? What is the wattage? All the details, huh? Current or whatever it may be. So serial numbers are also very important. Huh? Can you go to the next slide, please? Okay. We do have other topics like maintenance processing. So, for example, a typical production guy, when he walks to the industry or when he walks to that area, for example, assuming that I take an example of cement industry. So there are different sections in cement industry like raw mill section, kiln section, uh, mining section or something like that. So let us say I'm in charge of raw mill section wherein the ingredients comes and it gets grinded and then it gets passed on to the belt conveyor. So for example, a production guy is typically, okay guys, maintenance, every day you go and check your equipments. For example, if you are in charge of raw mill section, there are, let us say, 100 equipments, and you identify the critical equipments and you do monitor. You go and see, okay, if it is working fine, the readings are okay and all this stuff. So for example, as part of basic checks, if you see there is a problem, for example, a pipe is leaking, then in SAP language, what we say is we create a notification, or a production guys inform maintenance guys, guys, there is a problem, the pipe is leaking here. So the maintenance guys comes and you say you notify somebody, right? For example, the production guys notifies maintenance guys or whoever is in charge. So we have mechanical department, we have electrical department, whoever is responsible, and they come there and they see this issue, and for example, they put a M seal there to arrest this leakage. So this is a simple task which can be performed. So in SAP, we say it, we call it as a notification basically. So we notify somebody saying that there is a problem, guys, there is a problem. So the production guys notify maintenance, or maintenance will come and put an M seal to arrest that leakage. So this is an SAP we call notification. And here the maintenance processing is a big term, basically. And here I can see modeling maintenance processing followed by creating notifications. So notification is a typical object in SAP PM. We notify somebody that there is a problem. Okay. And for example, a production guy says that there is a leakage problem, and maintenance guy comes and he analyzes that, and if it is a simple MCL issue to arrest this leakage, it's fine. But let us say if it is a big problem wherein he needs manpower, he needs some time, and he needs some materials to fix this issue. So there we go to a typical object, one more object called order. So you can see in the menu, creating notification followed by creating orders. So when there is a simple task to be performed, for example, as I said, arresting the leakage by putting an M seal, this is called, we create a notification, we do this. And if it is a big problem to be fixed, then we convert this notification into a maintenance order. In service technology, we say service order, but here we say maintenance order, or create. Here there is a menu called creating orders. So when this notification is converted into maintenance order, we need a lot of things. For example, what exactly to perform on this equipment. For example, equipment broken down. One equipment has broken down, and we need to maintain this equipment. So we create a notification, and we convert this notification into an order. So to perform this, we need electrical guys, we need mechanical guys to fix this equipment. So in order, we create an order, and we can have everything. We can maintain operations guys, in fact. So to getting into the detail, these operations we list out. For example, in industry, we have thousands and thousands of equipments. So we do routine maintenance, we do a preventive maintenance and all this stuff. But for example, if I want to perform a maintenance on an induction motor, you need to follow certain steps. So we say it as operations in SAP, basically. So let us say we have to unplug the electricity and we have to remove the upper layer and we have to take care of the winding and all this stuff. These are typical operations we maintain in a task list. So I do touch that, but a task list is list of operations which have to be performed in an equipment. So for example, we create all this task list based on the equipments. And okay, getting into the more detail about this task list, we have the topic of task list in preventive maintenance. We take it there. But I was telling you about this preventive maintenance and all, and we do have topics. But notification we can convert into order and we can plan the operation. So what exactly we have to do on this equipment, and with the help of task list basically. And we call it as work center, guys, in SAP language. Basically means a list of people who perform this operation. So we do have technicians in industry. For example, to fix this induction motor or whatever it may be, I need support from electrical guys, I need support from mechanical guys, for example. So we do define this in SAP PM as work center. Work center is nothing but a group of people or group of missions or a single person or a single mission basically. So means a guys who is going to perform an operation or list of operations to fix that equipment basically. So for example, I have couple of operations, and for one operation I need a mechanical guys, and one operation I need electrical guys to fix this equipment. And there is some cost involved. So I'm going to spend 4 to 5 hours to fix this equipment. Okay, assuming that it is not a critical equipment. So guys, if you are working in an industry, for example, there are some critical equipments or crucial equipments. If it gets breakdown, then the production stops. So you might be knowing this, but assuming that it is not a critical equipment and we are going to maintain this equipment, so we need some labor, we need some materials. For example, the equipment is malfunctioning and we need some spare parts to use to fix this equipment. So as I was mentioning you about BOM, for every equipment we have typical spare parts or bill of materials. So then what they do is they typically get this from warehouse. So we do stock. So for all the equipments, we do stock spare parts in warehouse, and then we try to use those spare parts in order. So for example, if notification gets converted to order to fix this equipment, then we typically need operations, we typically need workforce, and we need spare parts, and we need to spend some time. So it's one more thing I can say is the order is a cost collecting object. So with this order you can fix this equipment. So notification is just nothing but a simple notifying somebody that there's a problem, and if it is a small thing we can fix the issue, and if it is a big thing, this notification have to be converted into an order, and then we need to perform a lot of steps, for example. So planning material and services. Okay, that's we covered, but I'll tell you. So when we convert this notification into an order, we have to plan something, right? For example, to fix this equipment, we need some materials. That's what I was mentioning. So these materials we maintain as spare parts. For example, what happens if we don't maintain these materials in spare parts? Means I can say I can differentiate this as stock or non-stock basically. So means the ones which we stock is called stock, and ones which we don't stock is called non-stock basically. So if it is stocked in our warehouse, we can create a reservation in SAP. This is a typical, everybody knows about this. You do create a reservation from SAP and it creates a number, and then you go to the warehouse and you give this reservation number or order number, and he fetches the reservation number, and you can get the goods by doing goods issue. So there's a typical transaction in SAP called Migo. He goes there and he gives the reservation number, and against this reservation number, if you want to have this, for example, motor plug uh, as a spare part, you want to fix this equipment, then you do get this from warehouse by doing goods issue, and then you get this and you fix this. For example, what happens if you don't have stock? So then you put this spare part in component as non-stock. There is a component tab, guys. When we get into the details, we can see all this stuff in order. Then you put this spare part as non-stock, which triggers a purchase requisition. So typically the procurement flow starts here. So SAP PM basically we are going to maintain all the equipments in different ways like routine maintenance, preventive maintenance, and all this stuff, but it is integrated to other modules. So I'm just going to touch upon this because we have this planning, material, and services. Services is basically whatever the services we are going to get from work center. So can be a technician, can be a mission, and all this stuff. So when we are planning materials, we do have a non-stock one. We need a non-stock which will be useful to fix this equipment. So for example, I need a winding. So to fix this, so it will be created as a material in the SAP system. Then when we enter in component tab, it triggers a purchase requisition. So guys, this and all we do in configuration basically. So how the PR has to be created and all this stuff. But we discuss in detail, but just I'm touching on the flow. So a non-stock component will trigger a purchase requisition, and the purchase requisition will be converted into purchase order. So you know there are a lot of approvers. For example, if this the value of this component is assuming that 1,000 euros, for example. So we need to fix this equipment. I need this binding, and it costs 1,000 euros. So purchase requisition will be created, and we have approvers for this. So typically, procurement department will take care of this. It goes to procurement department, and the purchase requisition will be validated basically, and this will be approved. And when it gets approved, this purchase requisition will be converted into purchase order basically. So then this purchase order will go to a vendor who supplies this winding, and then the vendor gives us the winding and he sends us to the industry. Then they make an entry in the register, and then they do a GR. It goes to the warehouse and they do the GR, and then we can get this material. So warehouse guys can inform maintenance guys, and we can get this material. So typical non-stock material flow wherein we have this integration with procurement, and we do have integration with finance. Okay, finance exactly where we have this integration is, I mentioned you about this work center in maintenance order. So the work center has a group of people or group of missions. So this work center, whatever we use in the service maintenance order, it incurs some cost. So we do maintain setting in KP26, for example. I tell you this when I am showing a demo in the system. So then it collects the cost. So we do have integration with finance department, wherein we maintain the prices of technicians. For example, I have electrical guys and I have mechanical guys. Per hour, electrical guys will charge 100 euros, for example. Mechanical guys may charge 150 euros, for example. So this I maintain in system. And when I try to fix this equipment by using this materials and services and all this stuff, it accumulates some cost in the order. So to fix this equipment totally, for example, I spent some time and I spent some materials and all this stuff, and I ended up with 500 euros, for example, only the material and the labor cost, and the cost of the winding is 1,000 euros. So we spent to fix this equipment 1,500 euros in order. So this is a big thing. We cannot do it through a notification, for example. So this is planning and services in maintenance order. And we have resource scheduling for asset management. Okay, this is typically within this maintenance order. So how we plan resources for this maintenance order. So we do schedule. Okay, guys, in typical big industries, for example, they do have lot of orders. So we are talking about fixing one equipment, but we do have many problems in industry. There are a lot of problems, right? So we do create many orders in industry, and for those orders, for example, typically we need to schedule. So each industry they use tools, scheduling tools. Somebody follows a tool called Prometheus. Somebody follows in SAP we have a tool called multi-resource scheduling, wherein you can schedule the resources. For example, I have at a stretch 100 orders to be scheduled. So we have a Gantt chart wherein we can plan all these orders. So we have different work center, and we have different people. Then these orders can be assigned to different technicians wherein they can go and fix the issues. So something we can fix directly when the system is running, something we cannot fix when system is running. So we have to fix it offline basically. So we have to plan the resources, and we need to schedule all these orders. Checking and releasing orders. Okay, when there is an issue to fix equipment, As I told you, it's a big problem. Initially, maybe production guy says that, hey guys, there is a problem with the motor, or a spark is coming in the motor, for example. So he notifies the maintenance guys. Then maintenance guys comes and checks this problem. Okay, it's a big problem. Then we need to create an order. So they create an order. For example, a maintenance technician creates an order, and he plans the resources, and he plans the materials and all this stuff, but he cannot take decision, right? So he has to get approval from his superior. He says that he needs approval from his manager. He tells to him that, okay, there is a problem, and I have planned materials, and I estimated how much labor force we need to fix this equipment. Could you please approve? So he checks that. He says, hey, come on. So why do you need four electricians? So you can use two electricians or whatever it may be. So there is a optimization here, and then he approves it. Then the technician modifies and he approves it. So we call it in SAP language releasing of order. So releasing of order means further, once he plans, for example, operations, material, and all this stuff, then he gets his approval from his boss to release the work order to go further. Means once it is approved, he can go and work on this equipment to fix this, for example. So that's what we call checking and releasing orders, basically. Then executing maintenance tasks. So I was mentioning you, let us say to fix this equipment, we need to perform some operations. A list of operations needs to be performed, which we call task list, basically. So that's what here we have executing maintenance tasks. Means to fix this equipment, what are all the tasks we need to perform? So we need to unplug the electricity, we need to remove the outer cover, we need to fix the winding and all this stuff. So these we will write in detail to fix this equipment, so-called operations, and all these operations. Let us say to fix this induction motor, I need 10 operations to be performed so that the equipment can be fixed. So then that we call those 10 operations, we call it as task list, basically. So, and execution of maintenance tasks. To fix this equipment, we perform some operations or tasks that we call execution of maintenance tasks. Then confirming notification and orders. Okay, so let us say the approval has been given by a superior to perform the tasks, and the task has been carried out successfully by electricians and maintenance guys. And now the supervisor will again check. So it has been done properly or not, and everything has been done fine. If there is any issue, they can redo. That's the kind of checking they do basically in SAP. And in SAP, for example, I told you the procurement process of getting material from maintenance order. And here confirming is basically they confirm the operations. Means, for example, to do the winding, I need 10 hours. So the supervisor will checks, okay, they have spent 10 hours, these technicians, and he validates this 10 hours. He confirms in SAP, we have T code called IW41 to do the confirmation of this operation, the timing of the operation. So this in turn hits cost, basically. So it accumulates some cost in the maintenance order. And once all the operations are confirmed, so supervisor checks, okay, everything is okay and everything is good. He confirms the operation time spent by electricians and maintenance technicians, and it incurs some cost in the order, and he confirms that. And we say typically after time confirmations, we say in maintenance language, we technically complete the order in SAP PM, basically. So means the work is done, equipment is fine, and we can do the technical completion of the equipment, and we can even close the notification. So I told you guys before, whenever the production guys goes and checks there is an issue, they notify, basically. Or a maintenance guy, when he's doing his routine checks, he sees there is a problem, basically it starts the notification. So he creates a notification, and then if it is a big issue, the notification will be converted into an order. If it is a small issue like arresting water by putting an M seal, then it can be closed in a notification. But if it is a big issue, the notification will be converted into maintenance order. And once the maintenance order is technically completed, they can even close the notification. So we have an option in SAP wherein we can close the notification as well. Then completing notification orders. Okay, I was mentioning you about technical completion. We do have a concept called business completion in SAP, wherein you do a business completion. Means the equipment is fine, we have fixed the equipment, everything is okay. The final completion of maintenance order. Then the equipment can be used at the site, basically. and prerequisites in material management. So what are all the prerequisites in material management? For example, how do we maintain stock? How do we do the non-stock? For example, let us say if the equipment is broken down and sees that, oh, we don't have stock for this, and then we go and procure. This is not a good idea, right? So we do maintain some stock. For example, for crucial equipments, we do maintain stock. For example, based on the money, the warehouse responsible will take care of this in closely coordination with the maintenance guys, basically. So what are the prerequisites in material management is we categorize the materials. We do have MRP concept, guys, material requirement planning, basically. So means we do have some settings in SAP. For example, whenever a particular motor plug, okay, this motor plug, if the stock is less than 20, then it has to automatically trigger a purchase requisition. So means the procurement process will take more time, right? For example, the procurement department has to approve internally in industry, and it converts into purchase order, and then it goes to a vendor. Then vendor has to supply this material, and we need to receive this. So this cycle will take a bit time. So for that, what we do is we have a concept of material requirement planning in SAP, wherein if a particular stock goes down, then it automatically triggers a purchase requisition. These and all can be configured in SAP. So then it gets approved in procurement, and then it converts into PO, and then PO goes to vendor, and then vendor will supply these parts, and then we do get this material. So we do plan in advance all this stuff, so that whenever there is an issue and we checks in warehouse the relevant spare part stock, and we do is it for maintenance. And refurbishing spare parts internally and externally. Okay, this is a very beautiful and important concept. So we'll be knowing who is working in industry. Refurbishing. So for example, equipment is not working. So we take it to the maintenance area, and then we try to fix that with the existing resources. We do say refurbishment. So with the existing spare parts, we try to fix this and we make it as a new. Of course, it will not be a new. It is refurbished, we say. Okay. For example, we cannot make it as a new equipment, but it's a refurbished equipment which we can use it. So we have two types of refurbishments: internal refurbishment and external refurbishment. Means the equipments which we cannot fix it internally by refurbishment, which goes to the external vendor. We do send this to an external vendor to refurbish. So it may end up in creating a sales order, because this is a typical service scenario wherein you can send equipment externally outside, or we do create refurbishment, internal refurbishment, wherein we fix the equipment by ourselves inside the maintenance guys. And outlining preventive maintenance. Okay, so preventive maintenance is very, very important, guys, and we do this regularly. For example, we do have equipments in our home, electrical appliances, for example, dishwasher, washing machine, all these things. What we do, we regularly maintain this, right? uh, okay, we clean it up or whatever it may be. We make sure that it is working fine or not. So which makes the life much better. So we do this also in industry, and it is called preventive maintenance. Means, let us say we have thousands and thousands of equipments, and we don't know when and where to what to maintain that equipment. For that, what we do is we have a beautiful concept in maintenance, preventive maintenance, wherein we create maintenance plans. For example, I am in charge of raw mill section in the cement industry, and I have 1,000 equipments under me. I need to maintain these 1,000 equipments with the help of technicians, for example. So what I do is, and I categorize these equipments. For example, I have induction motors, electrical motors, DC motors, or whatever it may be. I categorize, and then I say, okay, for induction motor, to maintain induction motor, I need 10 operations to be performed, for example. So, and if I do this 10 operations, 10 maintenance operations, then my induction motor will run fine and I'll not have any problems. So I was mentioning this is called task list. So we create all these 10 operations as a task list for an equipment, and we do have different types of task list, guys. So we touch that in task list, but I'll tell you, equipment task list, function location task list, and general task list. So equipment task list means a task list I define to maintain equipment, a particular equipment. So this is specific for equipment. So if I want to perform a maintenance on an equipment, a motor, then I need to perform induction motor. I need to perform these 10 operations, which is specifically for induction motor. So I can create this 10 operations as a task list, equipment task list. So which I can use it for induction motor. Like this, I can create a task list for electrical motor or DC motor. Then I can use these 10 operations to perform maintenance on this DC motor or electrical motor, for example. So like this, I define task list for electrical motor, for DC motor, for induction motor, and I create a maintenance plan. So a maintenance plan says, for example, I want to create a maintenance plan on equipment and I want to maintain this equipment every monthly so that the life is better for this equipment. Means I create a maintenance plan, I add the task list, I give the equipment here, and I define the frequency. Let us say monthly I need to maintain this equipment, and then I save this maintenance plan in SAP, and I need to schedule a job. We have a T code called IP30, guys. Okay, we'll see it in system later. Every day this IP30 runs means, let us say I create lot of maintenance plans. I create maintenance plans for 100 electrical motors, 100 induction motors, 100 now DC motors or something like that. So means I define the frequency, right? I know, being a maintenance engineer, I know when I should maintain. So when all these maintenance plans, we do a background job scheduling every day. For example, monthly, right? I say monthly, then for example, it runs in the night, and tomorrow it generates 100 orders. Means I have 100 equipments to maintain. So I simply go to SAP and I pull by using T code IW38 or 37. So I can see the list of orders which I need to do maintenance on particular day. This is called preventive maintenance. Huh? So we do plan in advance what exactly we have to do on equipments, basically. So then on that particular day, I plan all these orders to my different resources, and then I perform this over a period of time. Of course, we cannot do it on that day, so it will take some days, right? So we do plan and we categorize. Priorities are there in an order, how we exactly want to perform this, and we closely coordinate with production guys which equipments we need to do the maintenance. There are some critical and all this stuff. So the preventive maintenance is a beautiful concept. Every day the job runs in IP30, and then which triggers maintenance orders, and then maintenance guys goes and does the maintenance. Huh? And apart from this, ad hoc maintenance. For example, if there's a critical issue, then there is a call from central control room or production guys, and then they go and see and the maintenance order or notification, or if they need a maintenance order, they convert notification to maintenance order, for example. Then maintenance task list. So we touched upon this maintenance task list, wherein we have equipment task list, function location task list, and general task list. Okay, general task list, I can say you can define a list of operations which can be used across anything. For example, there are certain operations which we can use for all the motors. So this we can categorize in the form of general task list, and we can make it use in maintenance plans. And function location task list, I do mention, right? We have equipment and function location. So these are the typical technical objects what we use in maintenance. And we do define a function location task list by having list of operations, same way. So there are only three types of task list in maintenance: equipment task list, function location task list, and a general task list. And by using maintenance plans, we use this task list and we trigger preventive maintenance. These plans we call preventive maintenance plans. And the maintenance what we carry out is called preventive maintenance, means preventive. So in advance, we are doing this maintenance so that our equipment life is much better. So we will not end up with any problems meanwhile. Then scheduling maintenance plans. So this I already covered. Scheduling maintenance plans is we do schedule these maintenance plans in background through a job, and it triggers a lot of maintenance orders every day based on your frequency. For example, if it is a monthly, then it triggers every month a maintenance order or maintenance notification, guys. So you have a configuration wherein you set up. For example, there are some equipments wherein you don't need order to be created, so you can create a notification as an object from that maintenance plan. So once we schedule all the maintenance plans, it triggers a lot of notifications and a lot of orders based on your frequency. You set the frequency, basically, right? How you want to maintain your equipments. So that triggered orders or notifications, you plan it every day, you schedule it based the department, for example, maintenance department, and you do maintain all these equipments. working with measurement points and counters. Yeah, one more beautiful concept in SAP PM is called counters and measuring points. So we have different types of equipments in industry. Okay, for example, there is a combination wherein I want to maintain an equipment once it reaches 100 liters. For example, there is a typical equipment which pumps 100 liters of oil, for example. So I need to maintain this equipment once it reaches 100 liters, for example. So this is a combination wherein we need to measure when it touches 100 liters, we need to maintain this equipment. So the before ones, what we have discussed is a simple kind of maintenance wherein we can directly go and perform the maintenance of equipments, induction motors or DC motors or electrical motors. But there are some equipments wherein we need to monitor when it touches this much, we need to maintain this equipment. For that, we have a concept called measurement point. We measure regularly how much it is pumping, and once it touches this much, let us say it pumps half liter every day, for example. So the measurement point will reads every day. There is a measuring device, for example, typical industry, which counts the flow of this oil or whatever it may be. So then we do record this measurement points in SAP every day by checking that reading. And once it touches 100 liters, then we need to trigger a maintenance plan for maintaining that equipment. So this is a very beautiful concept, maintenance measurement point and counters. We use this to count how much it is. It's a kind of performance based maintenance, guys. So when it dispatches 100 liters, then we need to maintain this equipment, for example. Okay, using Fury apps, measurement points and counters. Okay, one more beautiful concept is as you might be working also in SAP. To access SAP, to access a particular notification, we need to input the T code. We say transactional code basically. So for example, to create a notification, we do a transaction code called IW21. So to create notification or to create an order, we use transaction code IW31. So this is, we need to remember a lot of transaction code, guys, here. So a Fury makes our work much easier, wherein you have the tiles like, and it's kind of user friendly. For example, you have a tile create notification. You can click on the tile, then automatically it will take us to create a notification. So Fury apps are very user friendly apps. You can even install in your mobile, like how we use this Android mobile with a lot of icons. When you click on icon, we get into those apps. For example, ICICI Bank iMobile, you click on iMobile, it takes you to ICICI application. Same way, for example, if you have a tile of creating notification, you can configure all this stuff. And when you click on this tile, it creates a notification. Basically, it takes automatically to IW21 with a lot of screens, which we can configure. So you can input where exactly the problem is. So we can, there is a problem on the equipment. For example, you can give the equipment, you can give the details and all this stuff. So the same thing, whatever we do in SAP, we do it in SAP Fury, but it is very easy. It makes user friendly kind of thing. So we have tiles in the Fury screen wherein you can click on each and every tile to perform the relevant tasks. For example, notification. We have an order also. You can click on order and then you can get the order screens. It's kind of user friendly and it's very nice to use Fury apps. Summarizing, customizing. Okay, we can check all this in measurement customization configuration when we do a demo in system. And managing task list. So okay, we were discussed about managing task list means different types of task lists are available: equipments, function location, and general task list. And we can create all these and we can use it in maintenance plans. Basically, creating an order with the task list. Okay, so for example, I told you already, let us say we have equipment task list, function location task list, and a general task list. Let us say when I'm creating an order, for example, we go by to the typical example of maintaining our electrical induction motor, for example. It is a problem and we need to perform maintenance on this induction motor. So notification is created. The maintenance guy, production guy says that there is a problem on this induction motor. A notification is created and notification is converted into an order because it needs services, it needs materials and all this stuff. And when we create this notification into an order, when we convert this notification into an order, we have already a task list created, right? So for example, for induction motor, to maintain an induction motor, I need to perform 10 operations. So in SAP, we need to manually write all these 10 operations, guys, for example. So to avoid this, we have already ready-made task list available for this equipment. So I can take this task list, I can import this task list into my order, which makes my work easier. Instead of writing 10 operations, I know to fix this induction motor, I need 10 operations to be performed, but I have a task list available already. I can import that equipment task list to my order, which makes my work easy, basically. So that's what here they say, creating an order with a task list, basically. And you say using SAP GUI based functions for task list. Okay, we do have different T codes wherein we can use the task list. We can pull out all the task lists in S4HANA latest upgrade. We have this IA38. There's a transaction wherein we can list out all the task lists together, but which is not there in the older versions, basically. Inspection rounds and okay, there is a one more concept called quality maintenance, wherein we do create inspection lots. So this is a bit touching upon quality maintenance, which is close coordination with PM, basically. So we do touch later this inspection rounds and all, and customizing task list. Okay, we can customize task list, basically equipment and function location and configuration area that we can discuss later. Next slide, please. I hope you're understanding, guys. I'm okay. It's typical maintenance. Do you have any questions? Sorry. Do you follow me?
Yeah, no, Satish, this is good.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've enjoyed the content, so I'm looking forward.
Excellent, excellent. So that's what, because it's. I hope it's not boring, because I'm just covering the content. So just briefly taking through industry process and all. Okay.
No, no,
So can we go
absolutely.
to the
Yeah, we use this regularly in our industry as well. So yeah, it's
excellent?
good.
So good. So can we go to the next slide? Just giving an overview. Naveen Garu, are you there?
Yeah, 1 minute.
No. Okay. So a kind of PM overview, what we can see here. So introduction to SAP, master data. Okay, guys, we do have a name called master data. So I did not take up this, but because the master data contains all these technical objects, for example, equipment, function location, task list, and all this stuff, we call it as master data, BOM, bill of materials in SAP. So other than that, we call it as transactional data. For example, creating a notification, typically a transactional data. So we don't call it as a master data. And creating an order, we call it as a transactional data. So master data means equipment, function location. We do have a predefined template for this. For example, equipment is an induction motor and it has a voltage, it has a current, it has all this nameplate, guys. For example, you see a typical industry, we call it as nameplate of that equipment. So we call it as master data, basically. Oh, okay. We missed this content, Navin Garu. Okay. Miscellaneous configuration plan and work center. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm going to talk about this mobility. Okay. There is a mobile integration to SAP as well. So we were mentioning about these Fieri apps. So we can have these Fieri apps in Android application as well. And all, for example, we have a lot of technological enhancement, guys, nowadays, because SAP or other vendors also supports this kind of scanning solutions in warehouse, for example. So, or we can use SAP typical Fury apps. So the mobility, basically, earlier days we used to call mobile asset management. So we do have a close integration with mobile asset management, wherein we can a service based company. For example, I take the client which worked Air Liquide. So they are industrial and gas manufacturers in Europe. They do manufacture a lot of gases, and all McDonald outlets and all in Europe, they do have this installations installations of these cylinders and all, gas cylinders, and all this stuff. A technician will go and does it, and he carries a van with all the spare parts, and he goes and installs the equipment. And once the equipment is installed, he does the maintenance regular basis. It's a kind of service, I can say. It's extended multi service, and these and all he'll be handling through mobile asset management. He'll have a iPad or something with him, and then we synchronize this SAP orders to this MAM, mobile asset management or mobility mobile solution. Then he goes to a particular McDonald outlet and he does the service on that equipment, for example, based on the request from the vendor. So there are a lot of new technologies are coming up now. The olden days we call it as MAM, and now it is mobile integration, wherein we can directly use our iPhone to perform the operations. So you can scan even, for example, warehouse solution I could talk about. If you go to warehouse, whenever we receive goods from the vendor, so they do typically goods receipt. So the old transactions, typical transaction called MIGO. So we click on MIGO and then we enter the PO number and we get the details and we click on GR. So now instead of that, when we have this integration in Android or iPhone, you directly scan this PO number, then it gives you all the details and you just simply do the goods receipt. So which makes our work more easy. So this scanning solution, okay, if you have a lot of vendors basically, but this is very easy and useful for the users. We have implemented, in fact, this in one of our 11 sites. We implemented this warehouse solution, wherein we have this is SAP, and this is part of SAP Service and Asset Manager. We do have this solution called Inventory Clerk Personas, and we use it only for warehouse solution, wherein we can do GR, GA, and all this stuff. So capital projects. So this capital projects, I can say this is an extension module to PM called project systems. So there is another module and capital projects. For example, as you all know, we create a project, and a project will have some WBS elements, right? So we break down the project, or we break down that project into different areas, and each area we can further divide into work breakdown structure, so that we make our work easier. So we typically get focus on work breakdown structure, and then we carry out our tasks, for example. So in project systems, what we do, we create a project and we create a WBS element. So this is also one beautiful concept in SAP, wherein we can assign the budget to the WBS elements. I create a project, for example, sorry, I want to install an equipment. So there's a project for me, and I create a project, and I have WBS elements. So I can show you when we go to the system. And for, let us say, the installation has different steps. So I need to have budget for these, and I create WBS elements, and I do budget all these WBS elements. So we have typical transactions called CJ30 in SAP, wherein we budget this WBS element and use. For example, as part of project installation of this equipment, I need to procure some equipments for this. For that, as I mentioned you, we need to take through typical procurement process. And when I'm creating a PR here, guys, we don't have a maintenance order. I'm just talking about projects. So we create a PR directly, and we use this WBS element. So we are procuring a particular spare part against this WBS element. So here the tracking is WBS element, basically. So we do discuss, we create project and we create WBS elements, and we do budgeting and all this stuff which comes in projects, basically, project systems. Asset sales and billing. Okay, so this is again we are getting into a scenario called customer services, basically. So we sell assets. For example, let us say a company who sells equipments, who sells assets, and then a sales service will be performed. So when we buy equipment or when we buy something to our home, typically which covers a warranty and guarantee, and if there is an issue, we do report, right? So there is a service which will be performed based on the agreement, whatever we agree. So sales or billing is, for example, typically a service based company. So I'm selling some equipments, and I sell that equipment by creating a sales order. Basically, you know this, a sales order will be created and you sell the equipment to a customer, followed by you create an invoice to the customer. And then when there is a problem for the equipment, for example, I take a typical example of Air Liquide. So Air Liquide sells this industry and manufacturing gases, and when they have this equipment installed in front of McDonald's outlet, and for example, they invoice the customer for installing this, and invoice will be paid, and a service agreement, they come to an agreement called service agreement, wherein this equipment has to be maintained monthly for 5 years, for example. So you can bill it. So billing happens every month, and but there is a contract, service agreement between these two parties. And then what we do is, this is called after sales service. So the technician goes, I told you, right, ma'am, for example, he has a van wherein he carries all the spare parts, mobile asset management, and then he has an iPad wherein we create all these orders, and we do have a service contract with the vendor. And in SAP, we create this service order basically. So we call it a service order. Then we have some configurations. We have a concept called DIP profile, dynamic item processor profile. And then when the technician performs the service, same service order and maintenance order, both are same, guys. But after sales, we for the customer service perspective, we use service order. But internally, if we carry out maintenance inside a plant, we call maintenance order. So here also he plans the materials, he plans labor and all this stuff. Maybe he takes two more technicians along with him, and he uses spare parts what he carries in the van, and he does the service. And then once the service is performed, he creates a billing. We call it as debit memo request from service order basically. The debit memo request will be converted into invoice. So this is typically a sales, and after sales service we do the billing basically. And EAM reporting analytics, special EAM. Okay, for example, standard reports, guys. For example, we have mean time between failure, mean time to repair, and mean time. This is typical industry KPIs. Guys, you are working in production, you know industry. So mean time to repair and mean time between failure, MTTR, MTBF, very, very important. How much time you take to repair an equipment and how much time between failure and all this stuff. So this is one of the important KPIs. So in EAM, as part of standard SAP, we have got a lot of reports. As you know, to enhance the reports, we do go for custom developments. So there is a typical requirement wherein it will not serve the purpose of having the standard reports in SAP, but we do need custom development. So we need to combine some of the tables, and we need to design the reports based on the customer requirement basically. So the standard reports are available. We can check, for example, typical IW38, IW28, which can give the list of notifications, list of orders with all the details, equipments, serial numbers, and all this stuff. Checking architecture and roles. Okay, then we get into again other details of roles. This will be handled by authorization team basically. So you know, guys, right? For example, a technician who creates maintenance order should have only some kind of authorizations, and a supervisor who validates this should have a bit level high authorizations than him basically to approve and all this stuff. So a technician who creates an order cannot release an order, means cannot approve. So these and all will be configured in SAP based on the roles and authorizations. So for example, a planner, a technician, a supervisor, and all this stuff, plant manager and all this stuff. So it's roles and authorizations basically, which comes, I mean, authorization, guys, SAP authorization will play an important role here for this. Configuring plants and configuring work centers. Okay, plant configuration. So create a plant is not a big thing in SAP. Of course, we can create a plant. It's a beginning. So we need to have a company code, client controlling our typical maintenance structure. I was mentioning you client controlling area, company code, planning plant, and all this stuff. So this is very important. So we need to have a company code. A finance department will create this, and then we need to have a plant, and a plant will be assigned to a company code, and we configure this plant. This is one time configuring plant, and then we can configure maintenance plans and planning plans. I was mentioning you about this the central plant wherein they frame the rules. For example, since we discussed about preventive maintenance, I take this topic. I have planning plant wherein I frame all the task list. I create all the task list in planning plant, equipment task list, functional location task list, and general task list. Then I implement all this in a plant, maintenance plant, wherein I carry out the maintenance, for example. So it's easy to configure a plant, and but being maintenance, I mean maintenance guys, we create planning plant, we create maintenance plant. Then we assign that planning plant to maintenance plant. Means, for example, I take out a typical example. Infosys Bangalore head office, they frame the rules and they implement in other offices. Same way, we create all the task list in planning plant, and we do assign this planning plan to the maintenance plant, wherein this task list can be used by those maintenance plants, for example. Work centers. Okay, so we discussed about work centers. In typical maintenance order, for example, we need some workforce to perform this maintenance order, to maintain this equipment. So this workforce we create in the form of work center, guys. Work center, I mentioned you, work center is nothing but group of people or single person or group of missions or single mission. Means by using this work center, we are going to perform that operation. So let us say I go back to my typical example of induction motor, wherein we need 10 operations to maintain this induction motor. For the first operation, I need mechanical guys. So I create work center for mechanical guys. For the second operation, I need electrical guys to perform this operation. So I use electrical work center here. So like this, all my operations I define and I use work center. So this is very, very important. And work center, without workforce, how can we maintain this equipment? So this is one important in master data in SAP PM. And I told you guys, we maintain the cost for this work center. So the work center, cost center, we do have a concept called activity type in maintenance. So we define the activity types, means we define the prices. For example, for electrical technician, I define an activity type 100 or 1000. For mechanical, I define 2000. Means but work center will have a cost center. Guys, you might be knowing we do have cost centers for different objects. All cost will hit this cost center. So like that, I will have a cost center associated to my work center. So each work center will have a cost center, and I define the prices in KP26. There is a transaction SAP. We define the prices. For example, an electrical guy, I have to bill only 100 euros per hour, for example, or $100 per hour. So I maintain this in KP26, and for the first operation, if I use this electrical guy, and when I confirm 1 hour, for example, operation wherein I need to do the winding, I need electrical guys. So I plan 2 hours. Okay, to remove the winding for this induction motor or whatever it may be, I need 2 hours of electrical guys. 2 hours they need to perform. So for 1 hour, $200, and 2 hours, it is $200, for example. Means this work center will have a cost center, and I maintain for this cost center and activity type a price, basically. So we do this in KB26. So through this work center, the cost will get reflected in the maintenance order, basically. Through this work center, cost center, activity type, we incur some cost in the maintenance order. Notification types. Then we go to the notification types. Okay, it depends. There are typical notification types in SAP, maintenance notification, emergency notification. You configure, guys. So you configure however your industry works, basically. So typically we do have maintenance notification, event notification. For example, you can create even it as an emergency notification. For example, if the notification called Z1, which is an emergency notification, then definitely it will be associated with a work order. That's your wish or industry wish. So we do have some standard notification types in SAP. We can make use of those standard notification types. If not, you can configure your own notification types. So I already told you a notification is nothing but notifying someone that there is a problem. So we do call this notification. And in SAP, sometimes we say a standard SAP notifications, we say uh, 3 types. For example, maintenance request, what is that other one? Malfunction request and activity report. It depends. Depends how you want to define your notification types. So a maintenance request is simply a maintenance request wherein, for example, a production guys notify maintenance guys there is a problem here. And a malfunction report, they create this malfunction report where the equipment is not working, it's malfunctioning. This notification may have to be converted into a maintenance order because the equipment is malfunctioning and we need to maintain that equipment, for example. And order types. Okay, we do have different order types in standard SAP, and this is very, very important because all work we will be performing on order. So whether it is a maintenance order, whether it's a service order, we have different types of maintenance orders, guys. For example, standard says PM01, PM02, PM03 or something like that. So maintenance order notification, refurbishment order, for example, calibration order, and quality or quality order also. So if you use quality management, then we can create an order for only for quality maintenance, for example. So you can define however you want, because how the industry works and what exactly they need based on the client requirement also. You can define order types basically. Material and services. So I was mentioning you about materials and services. So you can plan MRP, material requirement planning in warehouse, wherein if the stock goes down, okay, we do maintain some parameters in the material master data. Basically, this is also one more master data. And based on that, if you run MRP, automatically as a background job, it triggers materials. I mean, basically purchase requisitions, so that the purchase requisitions will be converted into purchase order after approvals, of course. And then this goes to vendor, then vendor will supply. Yeah. So this MRP also plays an important role in warehouse and industry or spare parts for us for maintenance also, basically. Services, okay. This is typically, if it is a service order, then we can same call it as services. For example, whatever the operations being performed by a service technician or a maintenance technician, we call it as services. Or we have a different scenario. For example, let us say my cement industry, I'm in charge of raw mill section, and I'm maintaining equipment. I don't have the skill set to perform this equipment maintenance. Then in that case, what I do, either I have to send this equipment externally to get it repaired, which is called a refurbishment process, external refurbishment process, or I need to get a technician outside of my industry, my plant, to get this repaired. So there's an external service which I'm going to procure outside. So we do have a scenario in SAP wherein we get an external service. For that, okay, we have a typical concept called control key, and we maintain this external service here, and which triggers even a PR and purchase requisition, which will be converted into purchase order, and we do a service entry sheet basically. So there's an external service basically wherein we can use, and typically we can use it in customer service module, as we can use it in maintenance area also. So we do create service entry sheets. So the services which we are going to get it from the outside technician, we create a service entry sheet and we accept the service entry sheet basically. Scheduling, same. So let us say we were discussing about this scheduling of maintenance orders. So we do use some tools like Prometheus. There is a scheduling guy, and there are a lot of vendors in the market. And for example, in SAP itself, we have this multi-resource scheduling, wherein through preventive maintenance, through maintenance plans, we create a lot of orders or a lot of notifications. We schedule this with your technicians basically. So it's a Gantt chart wherein you can schedule all this, and you can plan these maintenance orders. So let us say they do maintain, for example, 20 orders today, they can try to complete it. Or sometimes, if the procurement involves, then it will take more time. So we need to maintain this equipment, means we have to wait from the procurement. We have some waiting period from procurement to get the spare parts and all this stuff. So printing, okay, printing, guys. There is a beautiful concept in SAP called shop papers. The guys who will be working in the shop floor, they know this maintenance. What we do is we try to print some outputs from our orders or notifications. For example, okay, just a second, Anavinger. Don't take out the screen. So I created a maintenance order, and I planned my materials, and I planned my services, I planned my operations, and then I need a shop paper wherein I need to see all this, and I need to get it approved from my boss, for example. So approving or releasing order in SAP is something different, but uh, I need a printout and I need to get it signed. Maybe different. For example, in Germany, still they are following this paper system, so they need paper. So they are not completely digitalized, but they do need paper, and they take a printout of shop paper, and then the supervisor will give his signature there. So this shop paper, what is one of the shop paper? So this is based on the requirement. Then, for example, once I release the order, sometimes the client says, okay, after releasing the order, I need to have one more shop paper generated. That is one more shop paper we create. It's nothing but a form wherein we can show the important fields. For example, once technician creates a maintenance order, and he generates this shop paper, like say maintenance order is a shop paper. Then I have the details about the equipment, I have the logo of the company, and I have details about the function location, I have details about the operations, I have details about the material. So in the form of a layout, a typical layout covering all these things. Then sometimes they say, okay, reservation, for example. So when we create a reservation for a material in the warehouse, then we do need a shop paper. So then olden days, guys, reservation slip, SRS, we used to say stores requisition slip. When I was working in 2004 in Jowari cement industry, we call it as stores requisition slip. So we do print this requisition, stores requisition slip, and we used to take out to the warehouse guy. I need the spare part, and then he checks and he gives the spare part. But nowadays we can generate a shop paper, and we can do take the shop paper. But in fact, we have a reservation number and our order number, and against this order number, he goes to Migo and he can give this number, and he can do the goods issue in the system. And in fact, even he can also create a goods issue slip, okay, acknowledgement slip or whatever it may be. So in process of maintenance or order process, we do create a lot of shop papers or document papers which will be used. Sometimes technicians take these, carry outs this and to perform the operations at the site. So these are very important. Shop paper we do generate. So printing is nothing but we print the shop papers. From SAP, we have an option of printing, guys. So IW3D or something like that, we can print and then we can use these shop papers. Confirmation completion. So we touched upon this topic before, but I'll tell you. Let us say I have a problem with my equipment and production guys notify this and notification is created and notification is converted into maintenance order. The technician plans all this. A maintenance guy or maintenance planner plans this maintenance order by operations, giving operations and spare parts he can plan. And then, sorry, followed by approver from boss. He releases the order. Then the maintenance guys goes and carry out this maintenance. The maintenance is done. Once the maintenance is done, supervisor will check and he says that, okay, everything is fine. Then we can install that equipment. And the confirmation from supervisor, he says everything is okay, but there are other confirmations in SAP called time confirmations, we say. For example, to perform this fix, technician spent 10 hours. So I told you, we track this through work centers, cost center, activity type, and we do confirm this in SAP through transaction code IW41. And you go to IW41, you confirm the operation, and then the cost will be posted in order. And like this, we do the confirmations in the order. Or one more thing is, for example, we created a reservation slip. We need a spare part, and we go to store, Migo, and wherein they do the GR, and we do goods issue. For example, we use the spare part and we do goods issue from SAP. So this is also one more thing. And once we do the everything time confirmations, we complete the order with the technical completion. And at last we do the business completion. So we have an option, guys, in SAP. When we do the technical completion, it pops up saying that do you want to close the notification? Yes, we can close the notification as well. So the basis of the maintaining this equipment is the notification, and we can even close the notification. Means work is done, we have confirmed all the time confirmations, we have done the goods issues, and we got the spare parts, everything is done, we have completely fixed that equipment. So we do a business completion finally. After technical completion, we do the business completion of maintenance order or service order, which is completely done. The maintenance is done. Configuring the phase-based process, calculation settlement. Okay, this and all we can see in system, but okay, calculation settlement. Yeah, this is important. For example, to perform fix on this induction motor, I spent 1,500 euros or $1,500, for example. So order is nothing but a cost collecting object, basically. So we need to settle this somewhere. So the cost has to be settled, right? End of the day finance, we see, okay, maintenance, how much you have spent. So this cost has to go and set somewhere there, which is called cost element. You can define settlement receivers. So you say in maintenance, or you have concept of settlement receivers to whom you have to settle. So for example, finance says, okay, guys, for maintenance, we define these cost centers and you always settle these to cost centers. That depends basically. Sometimes in projects we settle to WBS elements, we settle it to network, we settle it to sales orders. So it depends upon the scenario to scenario. Means end of the day, once we complete the order, we run the settlement. Okay, so means we can run the settlement in technical completion, we can run the settlement in business completion also. So for this, for example, we do have background jobs. Once the order is completed, And if the order is only completed right, we can settle. In between also we can settle, but we don't use that. So it depends upon the requirement from the customer. But once the order is completed, we settle it to the assuming that we have a settlement receiver as cost center. All costs, whatever I have incurred, or the order collects all this cost, labor cost, material cost, everything, which we will settle it to a cost center, for example. So we do have a T code called KO88. Then we can settle by using this T code to a cost center, for example. So this gets and hits that object. And then in reporting, you can see, for example, this maintenance cost center, how much cost we spent on maintenance, basically. So in typical industry, guys, we do assign the budgets, right? For example, every year, the maintenance guys will have this many thousands of euros as their budget for the maintaining all the equipments, for example. So they do track with the cost centers. Then we do have different reportings wherein we can see how much cost spent by maintenance guys for maintaining a particular financial year, for example. So that's what we do, the settlement basically. Calculation and all, it will get calculated automatically based on the settings what we do. When we put a material in the order, automatically the material cost will come because in the master data we maintain the price of that material, for example. And operation cost, I told you, work center will have a cost center and each operations will be calculated in KP26 T code and the cost will be reflected in the order. So for each and everything we have a calculation. We can see that when we discuss about maintenance order flow, basically. End of the day, whatever cost incurred on that to fix that equipment, I push it to the settlement receiver, cost center, for example. We have taken an example. Then that cost center will have this cost. Then my order will have a zero cost, guys. Once I settle, then order cost will be zero, right? So, okay, we do have different types of cost in order. Estimated cost, planned cost, and actual cost. So estimated cost before, let us say, a maintenance technician, when he plans order, he does estimate, okay, to fix this equipment, maybe I need 1,000 euros, for example. That's the kind of estimated cost we can give in the order. Then when he really plans, when he puts the operations and when he plans the materials, then he says, okay, then my planned cost may be 1,200 euros or for something like that. Then when you really get into the work, for example, when you try to maintain that equipment by using 10 operations, we may take more also sometimes, right? Deviations would be there. So then the real cost will come into picture, which is actual cost, which comes when we confirm the operations, right? For example, I estimate it for 1,000 euros and I plan it for 1,200 euros. Then when I am finished my work, it may end up with 1,500 euros, for example. That's the final step when we are confirming the operations. I told you, right? Confirming, we do it time confirmation or we do the goods issue, all this stuff. So typically goods issue and all is comes from the material price, but the time confirmations may vary. Technician may work 10 hours. We plan it for 10 hours. He may work for 12 hours to complete this equipment maintenance. So this and all also will vary. Typically, we have three types of cost: estimated cost, planned cost, and actual cost. And when we confirm everything, the total cost, what we see in the order is actual cost. And this cost, we are going to settle it basically to a cost center. And when we settle it, it becomes zero basically. So that's what I was telling to you. Yeah. Naveen Garu, can you go to the next one? I was just explaining the contents only. The slide overview. Yes, this one. So you can see this PM overview. Whatever topics we covered, it's briefly mentioned here, but I'll touch upon this. Introduction to SAP, you know this. Master data. Master data, we have equipment master data, task list master data, BOM master data, and work center master data, and all this part of our PM master data. And refurbishment of spare parts. You know, we do the refurbishment of equipments by using the spare parts, and types of refurbishments we discussed, external and internal refurbishment. So whatever refurbishment we do internally called internal refurbishment, and we send this equipment outside to a vendor called external refurbishment. So we have basically we use split evaluation here, guys. So for example, a material we want to refurbish or equipment we want to refurbish, for example, if it is a new one, we have a new one, and which is being used is an old one, right? And if I can refurbish internally, then the old one I put some spare parts and I make it a refurbished. Then we have three: new one, old one, and refurbished. Old one, by doing some makeup, we make it as a refurbished one. So we use a split evaluation here. This is the kind of procurement process. We do the split evaluation, and then we do refurbishment process in SAP, basically. Navigation in SAP. Okay, navigation in SAP, when you take out the SAP screen, we can see we have different types of folders, we have different types of modules we can navigate. For example, plant maintenance will have different folders like master data, preventive maintenance, breakdown maintenance, routine maintenance, and all this stuff. We can see that in SAP when you get into SAP. Regular maintenance. Regular maintenance, that's we discussed about this. We do maintenance every day in industry. So that's called regular maintenance basically. So every day maintenance engineer, as for example, if he's in charge of raw mill section, then he goes and he checks the typical equipments. He does the regular maintenance, for example. Next, test equipment management. Okay, this is also a part including quality management, but we do this separate order. We create a calibration order and we do this test equipment. We discuss in detail later, but it's not for maintenance basically. And HANA overview. Okay, I told you, right? So I have not seen any changes, typical changes in many of the scenarios of PM. Basically, advanced technological enhancement. I have seen Fury apps and all this stuff, Scanhouse, warehouse solutions, and all this stuff. But we do have same scenarios, and I currently work with S4HANA. We do use the same T codes, guys. So there is no change in ECC 4 or 5, 6 or okay. We have nice screens with a lot of fields and functionalities, but the scenarios are same. Breakdown maintenance. Okay, this is one of the type of maintenances. So we have preventive maintenance, regular maintenance, and we have breakdown maintenance. So breakdown maintenance we carry out when the equipment is broken down or breakdown, right? So this we know basically breakdown maintenance. So typically by creating a notification followed by maintenance order and all this stuff. Investment order process. Okay, very good thing. So I told you, right? So we do have these project systems integrated to PM, and we have an order called investment order. So that's what you can configure based on this. And in configuration, you have an option called if we want to make this as investment order, you can configure this. And investment order, basically, you can use this WBS element and you can budget it basically. So this investment order will have a WS element, and I told you can allot some budget, and then you can take through the investment order flow basically. So it's typically maintenance order flow, wherein you have a budget associated with it. For example, I tell you one example. So I have an investment order, and it's a typically like maintenance order only. I plan my operations, and the budget assigned to this is $1,000, for example, because I use a WS element in this maintenance order. And when I plan operations, when I plan materials, everything, then let us say I show it to my supervisor and supervisor says, okay, everything is good. And he tries to release and save. When he saves, it checks the cost. I told you, right? Cost will get accumulated in the order. When he checks the cost, the system checks automatically. It will not allow beyond $1,000 because the budget I have assigned is $1,000 or €1,000. So it throws an error, and there is a deviation. You can maintain 10% and all this stuff. But yeah, this is a typical investment order. We can carry out the maintenance through WBS element, and we can assign some budget and all this stuff. Configuration. Okay, configuration, we can do master data configuration, we can do notification orders and all this stuff. Organization structure. Organization structure we discussed, guys. So client being the highest level, client controlling area, company code, planning plant, maintenance plant. So this is typical PM organization structure, starting with the client, controlling area, company code, planning plant, maintenance plant, and plant. So this is very important. So we should understand how this hierarchy. Then preventive maintenance. So we discussed about preventive maintenance in detail. So preventive maintenance is not a regular. Uh, it's a regular maintenance. What we do with the help of maintenance plans, which generates a lot of orders and notifications. And this preventive maintenance we do every day. For example, based on the frequency, it triggers a lot of orders or notifications, and we schedule this, we plan this, and we do this maintenance. So this is very, very important. So if the equipments are you want equipment to be healthy and we want more life, then we use this preventive maintenance. So there is one more concept called condition based maintenance, guys. Now the technology is enhanced much more, and now SAP is even offering us asset performance management, and this is another big module. So you monitor the condition of the equipment and you assess it, and you make the life more. So this is a condition-based monitoring also. There is one more thing. Now it is called asset performance management. So it automatically triggers notification, and it's automized all. So this is also one beautiful concept by SAP, other than preventive maintenance. Then reports in PM module. There are standard reports, guys. So end of the day, for example, if you are a maintenance engineer, you want to show your boss, okay, these are the orders I worked on this week, for example. So you generate a report. So there are some standard reports available in SAP to see the list of orders, the list of notifications, list of spare parts, and all this stuff. So we can even extract the list of task list. We can just extract the list of equipments, function locations, and all this stuff we can see in standard reports. And if it is not covered by standard reports, of course, we need a custom development with the help of ABAP, and then we do these reports. Integration with other modules. Okay, very important thing. So PM has different integrations. We just briefly touched upon this. So a maintenance order will have integration with production. So I'll tell you how we integrate with production. Equipment master data. In equipment master data, we do have two work centers maintained. We maintain two work centers, guys. One is maintenance work center, another one is production work center. So when we see the SAP system, you understand better. But here the integration of production comes into picture. The equipment will have two work centers, production work center and maintenance work center. Then goes to the procurement. I told you we have a purchase requisition which gets triggered from PM order if it is a non-stock, or a service. For example, if you want to procure an external service, if I want to repair this equipment, I don't have a skill set inside, and I want to go for a vendor. So then I create external service with the help of a control key, which triggers a purchase requisition followed by purchase order, and then the vendor comes and carries out the maintenance. We do the service entry sheet. So this is we close integrate with procurement. Then finance, of course, the cost calculation part. So I told you work center will have a cost center associated to it, and then we do maintain KP26 prices of this work center, and this is a close integration with finance. Then if you go to the customer service area, we create a sales order, typically integration with SD, basically. But in maintenance, the integration is different. In SD perspective, we don't have direct integration, but in services, we have direct integration with SD because we create a service order and we create a debit memo request and then followed by billing and invoice, basically. So quality mind, QM also we have integration because we create an inspection lot, or we create especially a calibration order and we do maintenance. So there's an integration with QM also. So QM, procurement, finance, and production, basically. So we do have integration with these modules, main integration, basically. And we do settle the cost of the orders to the settlement receivers cost center. So these also typically finance, basically. Or we settle it to a network and all this stuff. Okay, Navin Garu. Can you go to the next slide? Yes, it's detailing. More we implemented. Okay. Okay, so I think they're recording it. Just a second. No, I think let me go to my desktop. That is better, I think. So this is. You see my screen, Sri?
Yeah.
Okay. So yesterday we were discussing about overview of plant maintenance. Then I was discussing with you all about the notification and order and all this stuff. So maybe we get into more details today. So we can have a demo also. We can see demo in SAP as well. Okay. So we have discussed about SAP PM overview. You see my screen, right, Sri?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we have discussed about SAP PM overview, and we discussed about the master data, what and all master data we have. We have work center master data, we have equipment master data, we have function location master data, and all this stuff. So let us do one thing. So let us check how we create master data and how we see master data in SAP PM, the PM module. So let me go to remote desktop.
So, sorry, just one thing. Prior to master data organization structure, can you
Yeah,
just
okay, good point. Okay, let me show you the organization structure as well. Okay, so the organization structure goes like this here. Just a second. So if you see my screen, right? So client is the highest level of organization and followed by controlling area and company code, followed by maintenance plant. And basically it should be a planning plant followed by maintenance plant, but I don't know. There is some thing here different. But company code, then we'll have a planning plant, then maintenance plant, then we have plant. This plant section and all is kind of areas what we define basically. Okay, so I can say client, controlling area, company code, planning plant, maintenance plant, and plant under this. Okay, the plant section and plant groups are different. So you have different planner groups in a plant. You have different plant sections. Maybe you can say these are areas of plant basically, and locations. Okay, we will see in the system.
Just one thing, right? The planning plant we said is the next to the company code. The locations are still then tied to the maintenance plant.
Correct. Okay, I will show you the locations you are saying. Okay, so what
No,
exactly
just
is your
curious.
question?
You mentioned plan. I just replaced planning plant with maintenance plant in this diagram, correct?
Correct. So we need to have the planning plant and maintenance plant, and then a plant basically.
Yeah.
Okay, but both ways is okay. You see here bidirectional basically.
Right.
Mm, mm. Locations are the locations what we have in the plant basically, like areas, different areas. I show in customization, then you understand. Okay.
Okay.
Better, because here it will be confusing. But let me take you to the customization, then we come back here. So I think you know this, right? Accessing SAP and login and all, you know, right? You do it,
Yeah.
right? You work with SAP, right? Already. Okay, fine. Let us say the transaction code. Okay, we have main technical objects, two types of technical objects, right? We discussed. So one is main technical object is equipment, another one is function location. So before that, you want to, so the client is nothing but the where the SAP is installed. For example, this is the client. What we are seeing. Okay, this is S400 is the client. I can say. You see, this is the client basically. You're getting Sri? And controlling area is what finance guys defines is controlling area. For example, let me show you. KP26. So this is the transaction where we maintain the prices for work center and cost center combination. So you see here the controlling area. So here the defined controlling area, for which controlling area this client belongs to. You see there are different company codes here, controlling areas. So for example, whatever it may, for example, if it is a client, let us say take an industry, a typical industry, cement industry, then we will have different controlling area. Some controlling, for example, controlling area MCA. So under this controlling area only everything will be performed. Okay. And then it is linked to a company code basically.
Got it.
You follow my screen, Sri?
Yeah, I follow. So the diagram we referenced, right, in the PPT, if you can just
okay,
walk
good.
that through the customization, just that hierarchy, that will help connect.
Okay, fine. I don't know. Maybe I close the connection, looks like. Okay, now it is reconnecting. Okay, this is the controlling area basically, okay, where we can choose the controlling areas and we define different controlling areas basically. So this is one controlling area associated with the client. Just a second. Just a second, let's see. I go to customization. To access customization, we use SPRO and SAP reference IMG. And to create the company code and all, we have an enterprise structure here. You see financial and accounting, and we have all the modules. So here we create define company and all this stuff. So you see here, what is the company and company name here, basically. And define the credit controlling area. Here they define the credit control area. And the plant will be defining here. So we'll be defining in logistic general. We define the plant basically. So here the plant is there, and planning plant assignment and all we do it in PM basically. Just a second. You see, controlling area will be maintained here. Maintain controlling area.
So just one question, right? So can I have just one entity like a planning plant that can also act as a maintenance plant, or do I have to have both individual?
Perfect. It can be. I'll show you. For example, you can create a planning plant, and it can be a maintenance plant, and it can be a maintenance planning plant, and it can be a maintenance plant. For example, I have an organization with only one industry. You can have everything together. That itself is both. I'll show you. That's correct.
Right.
Good question. Yeah. So for example, if I go to plant maintain maintenance planning plant. Okay. So I create one plant as planning plant here. Okay. But when you see the assignment, then you'll be knowing. Just a second. You see plant maintenance and customer service. So this is our complete configuration lies here.
So even in S4, it is still called plant maintenance, or is that EAM module now, or like
They call it as enterprise and asset management, which is again plant maintenance. So you see, we are using S4HANA system, but still the node for the customization is plant maintenance and customer service.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the same thing. Basic settings. Just a second. Planning plant. It depends if you have many plants and then they organize one planning plant and they'll have maintenance plants assigned to it. So this is plant definition and assign. Yeah, you see, assign maintenance planning plant to the maintenance plant, for example.
Right.
This is the node. You see here, for example, this is a planning plant here and this is a plant here. So you can assign here in this example, both are same. You see FOB, FOBP and FOBP. It can be different also. That's based on your requirement. You can configure.
So okay, even if they're same, so just like in your like what would you say the main purpose why we would need to separate? You said it's because of divisional reasons or business requirements.
Correct. So some requirement. For example, I implemented this PM in Air Liquid. They have a planning plant and maintenance plant are completely different. Okay, because for example here the planning plant will be completely different, and I'll assign, for example, here FOBP you see, right? I assign something XOBP as planning plant. So they create all the task list under this planning plant, task list, master data, everything, but they do create orders in maintenance plant, basically.
So is it because they're not centralized maybe decision making or assignment of
Exactly,
tasks?
correct. That is a good concept, centralized and decentralized. So if it is centralized, then they'll have all the things in planning plant. And if it's decentralized, then every maintenance plant is a maintenance planning plant as well, basically.
Okay.
Correct. That's the meaning. Exactly.
Okay. Oh, that helps.
Okay. Clear? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm clear on planning plan, maintenance plan. I'll just play around with it. I think we talked about locations and then the planner group and the work
Exactly. So
equipment.
that's also in customization. So just a second, let me show you the planner groups.
Yeah, because whatever you showed in the diagram, I'm trying to see inside the system. Just
Okay, fine. You have to wait. It's a bit slow. I'm accessing remote desktop, right? You know to commute. I mean, navigate this Pro, right?
yeah. I'll go check in my systems or so.
Yeah, sure. So you can see the configure planet groups here.
And this is completely different from the MRP planning group or production, completely different.
No, that is completely different. So you see here, maintenance planet groups.
Yeah.
It's as per the requirement based on the plant. So
Right.
let us say they say that I need the 10 planner groups. So these planner groups are responsible. We see it in master data when we get into the details. Why exactly we use this. So here we configure planner groups.
Okay. And so the purpose of this is what, again, to act as an object for transaction consolidation or
No, this will not. This is only for reporting purpose, I can say.
Okay.
Reporting purpose, we use this planner group.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. The other one was the work center, right? Towards the end.
That's a master data work center. Yes, exactly. For example, if I go back. Just a second. Here. So work center. Exactly. What is your question, Sri?
No. Yeah. So work center is not a customization object. You're saying it's
Yeah, it's a master data, but it plays a main part in the organization structure. So work centers we cannot do the work basically. Yeah, that should be out
yeah.
actually.
So we have
So
to set
I'll
up in
correct.
customization.
That's the configuration part we do the work
Okay.
center
Configuration.
configuration. Basically, that's what they meant by. But in generally, organizational structure, high level organizational structure, Sri, client, controlling area, company code, planning plant, maintenance plant. That's what we say.
Yeah.
So you no need to mention planner group and location or sections or whatever. Okay,
Right.
because those are the sub wings of this basically. Okay,
Okay.
clear? Okay, so
Yeah.
let us
Clear.
get into master data. Okay, so for example, the basic master data what we speak in PM is equipment and function location. Okay, we have work centers, we have task lists, but main objects are technical objects. We call these objects. So those are equipment and function location. So we just get into equipment. For example, the transaction to use this keyboard /n, and because I'm using customization screen already, so I need to use /n, and I go to a transaction called IE01. So you have to remember. So to access equipment creation, we use IE01. Okay, you see. So now it is automatic number. So the setting is like that. So it creates automatically, and we have equipment categories. You see here, based on the requirement, you create this, define the categories of equipment. So I have missions, production resource tools, and test or measurement equipment or customer equipment or equipment services. So but normally in generally for all equipments we use in plant, we use missions, M by default basically. And when we get into the details, I just simply press enter, then we get into the other screens. Okay, now you see, for example, equipment temporary number, it has been generated, and then categories missions and description. I put test equipment, for example. Now here we have different tabs. So general tab, location tab, organization tab. For example, I don't see any mandatory fields here. So object type, for example, let me go to general tab, object type. So what exactly this object is? So as you know, in industry, we'd be having different types of equipment. So we can categorize all these equipments. For example, here you see in standard, they have tower cranes, bulldozers, motors, rotary compressors, blah, blah, blah. So you can categorize this equipment based on the object type. So it all depends upon your industry sector and all this stuff. So you categorize basically. So I create as motors, for example, object type. And you know, right, we discussed about nameplate, so you can give all the details here. What is the weight, what is the size dimension, what is the startup date. So this equipment start date is whenever they implement SAP, they put the start date, for example, here. So 26th of January. And you can fill all the details, manufacturer, model number, part number, serial number, everything here. Then I go to the location. Okay. And location, we have maintenance plant. You see here it plays an important role. To
So,
which
sorry,
plant
one
this
question.
asset belongs to. Yeah, no problem.
One question in the previous chapter. So startup date is what? It's driving reliability time, or like kind of what is the purpose?
When we create this equipment, basically.
Okay, because there's a valid from, I think there. Maybe
This
that's
is,
the
yeah,
record.
this is valid from us. Yeah, you can give this startup of the equipment an installation also, or
Yeah.
means whenever we create this record is valid from this data. So we can use the equipment only from today, right? So that's the startup date, valid from.
Okay.
So we go to the location tab and then we link this to a maintenance plant. So I take some maintenance plant, for example, 1010. This is a standard one. Then here it comes location, for example. So there are some locations. So for example, I told you, right, in industry we have different areas or locations. So this motor belongs to which section, for example. So you see, you customize all this stuff basically. So this belongs to cooling water system. I have a motor equipment. This belongs to cooling water system. So I give this location, for example. And plant section. So there are standard plant sections. So where exactly this belongs to. These are all depends upon the requirement from your plant. Some people they want it and some does not want. So they don't want to further differentiate plant sections. They only go with the locations basically. I don't know how you have defined in your system. Work center. This is important. So to maintain this equipment, we define work centers also here basically. So I have taken plant and work centers will be defined for the plant. And I'm going to use the plant 1010 and you see I have the work centers here. So because work center or workforce would be inside the plant, so we create it for the plant basically. So I pick somebody, I don't know, some mechanical or worker or something like that. I give this work center here. Work for machine or person. ABC indicator is basically a prioritization. So how critical the equipment is basically. We use like that in our plant. ABC. So critical, normal, and medium critical or something like that. ABC indicator is also important, and this also we can use it in reporting and start field.
So
Yeah.
just one question, right? As I'm connecting this, so I get the plant, say cooling water system you defined as a location. So work center within the cooling water system, if there's like three uh, parts or things that make up that entire system, individually we'll have to define three work centers, or how do
What?
I?
No. Sorry. Come again, Sri. What are you
No,
saying?
in
So this.
context of cooling water system, right? I'm just trying to think, or maybe you can choose a different example. But how does that how does the within the that system, the location, the work center is coming into play?
Okay. So for example, to maintain this equipment, or let us say it depends upon the plant. For example, for cooling water system, I have 20 pumps, and this is one of the motor, and there are 5 work centers who can manage this cooling water system. Means I have each work center, like assuming that it's people, and I have four people, and I have 5 work centers who can manage this equipment under this cooling water system location, for example,
Okay. Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
So okay, then I can go to organization. So this is important. So you can see here one more work center. Okay. So there are 2 types of work centers. I was mentioning this. One is maintenance work center, another one is production work center. So in industry, we have production guys and maintenance guys. We closely work, right? Maintenance and production guys, correct? So one work center belongs to maintenance and one work center belongs to production. This is important. So we maintain the maintenance work center here. So these are the guys
And
who are
when
going
you
to
say
work exactly.
Sorry, when you say production, that's basically all everything tied to PP and just everything tied to.
Correct. That's the integration here. That's the main
Okay,
integration
that
in
is
equipment master data. There are PP work centers and there are PM work centers.
right. Okay.
We put it here. So this is integration with PP and PM. And here we have our maintenance work center. Okay, same concept for cooling area, and we can have multiple work centers who are responsible for this cooling section area. Okay, so we maintain here, for example. And one more thing, what you have to remember is work center category is important. And for maintenance, you see here, there are different types of work centers. Huh? For production guys also, we have different category. But for maintenance, the work center category is always 0005. This is important. Okay, we use always 005 as category, and then plant. Okay, we have used 1010 as plant, for example. You see here, now the exact work centers has come. Mechanics, electric, instrumentation, or something like that. So this is our maintenance work center. So it's very important when you go for certification, there may be a question, for example, work center in location, production work center, and work center in organization, maintenance work center. This is important. So I put something electrical here. Now the exact planner groups are coming into picture, so you can define what are the planner groups, and I can say one planner group for electrician, electrical catalog. This is very important. Catalog profile. Hello, Sri, are you there with me?
Yeah, I'm following. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because I'm hearing some sound, so I thought you dropped off.
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. I'm muted.
But you could hear me properly, right? You could clearly hear me.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So now I'm going to this catalog profile. So this is very, very important. The catalog profile you define. Do you know what is this catalog profile? Catalogs in SAP?
No. I mean, I've used it in another maybe module or function, but yeah, if you can, in context of PM, I don't know.
Okay, context of PM. So you have experience in other module also, right? You told me.
Yeah.
You work.
Logistics, MM, SD, pretty much.
Oh,
Yeah.
MM. Okay, nice, no problem. So this catalog profile we define, and we do this catalogs for the YY analysis. Huh? Okay, means there are different, for example, equipment, we have different types of problems in equipment. Okay, so and all these problems will be combining and will be putting in one catalog. Huh? So for example, it may be a upper core damage, it may be a winding damage, and these all problems comes into one catalog. Basically we club all these things. I'll show you exactly in detail. Let me choose one catalog profile here.
So the
General
purpose
catalog.
is for reporting analysis primarily then,
Correct,
or?
correct. Yeah, equipment is broken. What exactly is the problem? Based on this catalog we define basically. Then comes to structure. Okay, this is very important thing. When we create equipment, we must install this equipment at a functional location. Okay, means I define a functional location as cooling area, for example, cooling section, right? We're talking about. So this is a functional area. I define functional location, and I have 100 equipments installed at this, right? Because under cooling tower we can have multiple pumps. Maybe induction motors can be there, electrical motors or water DC motors and all this stuff. So these are all belongs to one location basically. Okay, that is called functional location. So here you see, when I create an equipment, I have to install this at a functional location. Means this equipment is present there. For example, you have a laptop on your desk, correct? At your home, for example, or in office. So the desk, the table will act as a function location where you install this equipment, correct? In the same way, the function location is nothing but hierarchically ordered structures that represents the technical system, basically, where you exactly give this equipment. That's a location. Yesterday I was quoting an example, right? If you want to find out Navin Garu, then you have to go to, so we come from the high level onwards. For example, plant. In plant, which area? Raw mill section, for example. Under raw mill section, we go to cooling tower. Under cooling tower, we go to a particular section where this is there. Like this, we define the hierarchy for functional location. So this is also very important. One more important technical object in plant maintenance, basically. We do install after creating. I'll create functional location also. Then warranty data. You know, basically equipment has different warranties, customer warranty or vendor warranty or manufacturer warranty. So you can maintain all these details here, basically, when it starts and when it ends. This will be useful Okay, why we need to maintain this data? For example, let us say, typical example, when vendor gives warranty of 1 year, then I buy this equipment from the vendor, okay, whatever it may be. Then I'm maintaining this equipment, and when I'm creating an order, some problem is there in this equipment, okay? So I'm creating an order, maintenance order. Then when I'm creating a maintenance order, we can customize in such a way that when there is a warranty period, then it pops up, the equipment is under warranty, okay? Means vendor has to do this service, right? You're getting my point? So that's what we maintain this. So we have a configuration wherein when we create an order, when we are maintaining this equipment as part of maintenance process, when we create an order, it pops up saying that, okay, this equipment is under warranty, start and end date. There is a pop-up which comes. We need to configure for that, customize for that. Okay, and it is very useful. Of course, we must maintain for all the assets, we must maintain the warranty details if at all, if there is any warranty. It's a manufacturer warranty or a vendor warranty, whatever it may be. Real estate we don't use, so people who are implementing this real estate we don't use, but okay, then the tab is different. But here one more important thing is you can create some attachments here. So for example, equipment will have some drawings, right? For example, if it is a motor, it may have some drawings, some diagrams, and all this stuff you can upload here. You can attach here basically. And one more important thing is class overview. Very, very important. For example, class and characteristics. You might be hearing, right? You also get this in MM, right? Right?
Yeah.
When you do the
Batch management.
approval flow. Yeah, exactly. So class and characteristics. So here, why do we need class basically? So do you have any idea? Class and characteristics here?
Just to define more attributes, right?
Yeah, correct.
Generally.
Something like that. So why we need here is, for example, I told you we will have different types of motors, right? We can have induction motors, we have DC motors, we have AC motors or whatever it may be. So, for example, I create a class where all AC motors belongs to one class, correct? Then it will have same kind of characteristics, basically. So that's the reason we to differentiate. Okay, all DC motors belongs to one class, which have similar characteristics, correct? Something like that. So that's why we use class overview and we create a class and we define the characteristics. We go a little bit later on this. I'm touching upon measurement points and counters. This is also very, very important. So we have different types of maintenance, preventive maintenance. I told you, right? We have time based, we have condition based, and we have performance based. There we discuss more details. No, we don't want these measurement points or measurement documents. So let us say now manufacturer, I don't know, GE, for example, General Motors or something like that. Put. And let me save this equipment. So the equipment is created. So there is an equipment number.
So one question here. So which table group, like, for MM, it's all like EK, EP, right? So where
Very
does
good,
this?
very good, Sri. Yeah, you are now getting into more details. So equipment data is completely stored in a table called EQUI. Okay. So
EQ?
100. Just a second. Let me show you the table.
Sure.
No problem. Good. Since you are MM consultant, it's easy for me.
Yeah,
At
you
least.
use SAP for a long time. You generally know how it works.
Excellent, excellent. So created by. So EQUI is a table. I give you the table overview. Don't worry. Yeah? We have the table linkage and all later.
But
So
what
you
is
know
the
this tree.
general object, the grouping for this plant maintenance? Is it all EQ based tables, or is there a whole set of?
Oh, we have different, man. Different
Okay.
AFK because orders and all is different.
Right. Okay.
AFIH and all this equipment. Function location is iFlock or some different.
Okay.
So created on. So I put today's date. We have created on equipment now. You know tables are already. What's happening here? Okay, these are created by S4PM user 1. So this equipment I have created and you can see all the details under this. So we did not maintain enough. For example, I put GM as a manufacturer and startup date. Object number is very important, Sri. So when you're linking the tables, you can use object number that you know better, right? So we link some of the tables in query. For example, being a typical functional consultant, we sometimes query using SQEI to see the to check the feasibility, how this works and all. Test equipment and blah blah blah, all this stuff. So
okay, this is good. Okay,
just a second. Control Y. So my equipment is ready, correct? So now I go for function location. I told you, right? So we have to install this equipment at a function location. So we need a location for this. So to create function location, we use a T code called IL01. Okay, one more thing is equipment creation is IE01 and equipment change is IE02. Equipment display is IE03. For example, I go to IE02 and this is equipment change. So if you want to edit the details, you can edit it. Okay, and number is internal number. You can choose. This is also configuration. And display the equipment is IE03, for example. So you can display the equipment. Okay. So now I go to another transaction. Okay, IL01. Just a second, Sri. Just a second, Sri.
yeah, okay.
Okay, Sri. The transaction to create function location is IL01. Okay, this is the function location, and the important thing is we have a structural indicator here. What does it mean, structural indicator? So you define the structure. How do you want this function location? So I was mentioning you, right? Navin Gaur's example. So are you basically, so where are you located, Sri, now?
Yeah, Atlanta, US.
Atlanta, for example, US, Atlanta, and in Atlanta, where exactly your street or something like that. So you define that hierarchy here, basically, Sri.
Okay.
So I'll define, I'll show you. Oh, we create this. Just a second, let me connect my power. Okay, now it's good. Okay, so for example, they have defined a structure here. You see here, XXXXXAAN. Okay, so this is called structural indicator, very, very important. So this defines your structure, how you want to create a function location, basically. So now I go to customization, for example. I hope you are understanding, right? Please interrupt me if you don't understand.
Yeah, I have a question, but I'll hold until you finish this and then I'll come back.
Okay. Tell me, Sri, that's okay. What's the structure? Yeah, you can ask the question meanwhile.
Yeah, so just the equipment we saved, right? So going back to the organization structure. So we
Okay.
said within work center, now in that work center, we created one equipment, correct, so far?
No, it's not under work center, Sri.
Okay, completely different.
Those work centers are responsible to carry out maintenance on this equipment.
Equipment.
That's the
Okay, so
meaning,
that's what
basically.
that's what I was trying to
Yeah,
maintain the relationship there. Okay, so equipment you've set up as separately, and then functional
correct.
location you're setting, and then you link.
Correct. We are going to install. We say
Okay,
the term called installation. Equipment
okay,
installation at a function location, basically.
got
Okay.
it. Okay,
Okay.
now
So
that clarifies.
yeah, perfect. So there will be different area. That's what I said. In industry, we have different areas, and there are different workforce. Right? They say they divide. For example, take care of cooling towers. We have 10 electricians or 10 mechanical guys. So they will be
Yep.
always handling that. Okay. So work centers, we use it there basically. So just a second.
Okay.
Let me go to function location. I take one structure. We'll see the structural indicator customization later, but I go with the structure A, for example, which is standard defined structure. And now you see this is called edit mask. Means there are 4 levels here. Okay, it's predefined 4 levels, and we have XXX. We do this in customization basically. Okay, XXXXX. For example, let me do one thing. Test hyphen AMP hyphen 12 12. You see here, now this is what I want to show you, because there is definitely different what do you say, the coding for this. This coding, for example, you see here only letters are allowed at the present cursor position. So we have A, X and N. Okay, this is what I want to show you. Now go to the customization. Master data, technical objects, function locations. Here, let us get into create structure indicator for reference function locations or function locations. So very important, the customization this is. Now here you see, this is the customization, what we are discussing about. You see here, 8 masks we define. So for example, you want to have, how many levels you want to have this function location, you can define here. So here this guy has defined 4 levels basically. So X and N, for example, you see the details of 8 mask here.
Yep.
So alphanumeric, numeric and both. This is the indication, X, A, N basically. So now you tell me what exactly I have to put here. For example, where is our guy here? Yeah. So test is okay here.
Yeah,
AMP is okay.
I think that's alphanumeric, right? So,
Yeah.
okay. That one, I think you need to make numeric, right? Or
This one, which one?
the after the alpha, you said the next one was numeric.
This one, N, right? N is numeric. It's okay. It's alphanumeric. This is only letters are allowed the present cursor position. Wait just a second. This one,
I think, yeah, that one, yeah. Correct.
XX and hyphen 12. Now you see that's correct. So now we have created a function location with test amp XX12. I'm assuming that this is a plant, this is a section, raw mill section, cooling tower, and pump area, for example, or motor area. Okay. F lock, I say function location 1. You can define your own edit mask, Sri. Just I'm using the, but you do it in
Yeah, yeah.
practice, when in
Okay.
IDES, that is better for you. So again, you see there is a status here created. Okay, we discuss about this later in detail. So now object type. Object type would be, you see, before we put coolers, right? Cooling or something it belongs to. So I
Yeah.
put cooler only because this is where it's going to be installed. Then weight details and all everything we do it here. So for example, no, I don't put anything here. Object type, I put location. So same, Sri. We have location tab and organization tab. So we have PP work center and we have maintenance work center. So you can maintain plant as 1010 we used. That's the standard IDES plant. And work center, we can use a work center, same work center. What did we use here? You go to the equipment and see. Display equipment. So did we use the work center here? Yeah, we use the work center work. And I use the same work center here also. And organization, I go to organization tab and then I use the maintenance work center electric I have taken, I think. So work center category is what, Sri? 5. Remember,
Yeah.
for maintenance work center category is always 5. Plant maintenance.
Yeah.
Now electric, I put structure. This is very important. Okay, let me tell you one nice one. For example, I have created directly 4th level. Sri, correct? We have 4 levels under this function location. So I save it, for example. Now we have function location also, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So now one more important thing is I directly created 4th level, but I go by one level. For example, let me go to first level called test. So this is at my plant level, for example. This we have not created, right? Now I create again. You see, this is my first level.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
First level of flock. Object type. Because it's a hierarchically ordered structure that represents the technical system, right? We said. So first level is a plant, and then raw mill section, and then cooling tower area, and then motor or pump or something like that. So you can define based on these object levels. You can create how many object types you want. So location, maintenance plant we have to give, of course, 1010. Work center we know, work. Organization, which work center is electrical guys. And then let me save this. Okay, one is created. So let us say next level is test underscore amp, right? We put amp.
Mm-hmm.
Amp, AMP. This is my second level. Correct? Sri,
Okay.
you're getting?
I'm trying to link everything, but yeah, let's create and then I'll make
Yeah,
the
then
next.
I'll show you the link. Yeah, exactly. You see, the data has come automatically. Did I put anything? Nothing, right? Only object class I put it. The data has come automatically. You see?
Because you reference test. Or
Very good. Very good. So you see, this is my superior function location. Means it is creating in a hierarchy. The data gets copied from this is called hierarchical data transfer. Okay. So now I save it, Sri. Done. So second level is done. Now we go to third level. Third level is XX3. Capital, I think. Use capital. You can use how many levels you want based on the requirement. That is for sure. So sometimes I worked with 7-level function location in my past. That's the maximum I worked. You see, Sri, the data gets copied automatically. And you see, test amp has come as superior function location here. Now I save it. So now test amp XX-12 is ours, right? Let me go and see in change mode. Structure. I need to install under this, XX. So I want to make this a superior function location. So I copy this guy, yeah. And here you see, change superior. I go here, I put the superior function location here, copy paste, say okay. Okay, when the date and time, I don't know, it's taking it default. So I click today's date, okay, and I save it. Now we have 4 levels of function location is ready. Okay, let me show you here. You see here. Okay, let me go do it from test. There is a high level then. You see test underscore test amp and underscore test amp. We have XX underscore test XX12. So I have 4 levels now. Fine. Are you clear?
okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
far clear.
Like this, we create these hierarchical order structures. Then what we do is we install equipment at this level, 4th level. The equipment what we have created is 1002972. Okay. There are some rules to install equipment at a function location. Equipment category must permit an installation. Then equipment installation allowed should be there in function location. These are the 2 conditions. So what are the prerequisites to install equipment at a function location? So this is a certification question basically. So equipment category must permit an installation, and equipment installation allowed should be checked in function location. So what I'm talking here, I'll show you. So now we have function location ready. Now we have equipment ready. Now I need to install this. So I set those 2 conditions. So equipment category must permit an installation. Very good. So category is what? M. How this permits an installation? In customization basically. So now the second condition is equipment installation allowed should be checked, correct? Where this comes. Let me go to the function location now. IL02 or IL03. IL02 is change, IL03 is display. So high level event. So I browse through the tabs. You see, equipment installation allowed. There is a checkbox checked here.
Right.
Then only we will be able to install. Otherwise, we cannot install. If I uncheck this, it will not allow to install. Okay, this is one setting. So there are two prerequisites. One prerequisite is equipment installation allowed should be checked in function location. The second is equipment category must permit an installation. Where is this guy coming? So we go to customization now. So these are the basic things. So I want to stress, Sri,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
important.
That's good.
Basically. SPRO. Because we always work with equipment function location, PM. You should know in and outs of PM, equipment function location basically. This guy is here. Okay, we go to master data again. Technical objects, equipment. We need to check the category. So equipment categories, you see here, equipment category and maintain equipment category. So missions is our category, correct?
Yeah.
I'm a bit expanding here. We have different information here. And here, just a second. Not this one. Object info, no, maybe other one, just a second, let me see. So this is not the one, okay, let me go back. So these are other configuration views. So equipment should have a sales, customer service, we check here. It must be here only. Okay, let us check to see if it is stopping us, then we come back here, this question. Okay, remember this, I'll show you again. Equipment category must permit an installation, and function location checkbox equipment installation allowed should be activated. So let us try to install this equipment and see what happens. So the equipment number is this one. I'm going to copy this equipment number. And now, where is this? Okay, two ways to install equipment at a function location. So one is, for example, now I am at fourth level of function location, and then equipment installation is checked here, right? You see here there is an equipment tab here. So I can click here. For example, you see here, I have a hierarchical sub equipments or equipments here. I can click here. So I can install here equipment. This is one option. Second option is you can go to equipment itself. I think I changed the equipment. You can go to equipment itself. Just a second. Let me go. What is the transaction 3 to change the equipment?
1 second.
IE02.
IE, yeah.
02, good. So IE01 is a create, IE02 is change, and IE03 is display. So I go to IE02, and now there is one more option. You go to structure here, and then you can directly give the function location here. You see here? Click here and directly give the function location. Important. There are two ways to install equipment at a function location. You can directly install the equipment by giving the function location the structure, or you can directly go to the function location and give the equipment. Okay, so what we do is we install equipment at a function location. So we do like this. You can do that. You can play later. Huh? So for example, I go to the equipment directly and I give the function location here. So what is our function location? Test underscore
AMP.
test underscore sorry, test hyphen amp hyphen xx hyphen 12. Say okay. You see, it came up. I don't save. I want to show you some other options. Now I say no. Let me go again. Structure. This one. Now I put here. There is an option install with data transfer. Very, very important. Means when I am installing an equipment at a function location, if I use this installation with data transfer, what happens here? You see, it asks what data you want to transfer to the equipment. You see, there is an options checkbox. Location comes here. Then I want to choose room. I can choose blah, blah, blah. I can choose all these things. Means what I'm saying is there is a hierarchy we maintain for the function location, and this has some data. Then this data has to be updated in the equipment, right? This
But
equipment
that
belongs to
data
that function
came,
location.
that data came from setup of each.
Correct. One level only we set up. We set up fourth level.
Yeah.
We put the data and everything got a hierarchical transfer. So this is very important. So when you install equipment, the data comes from the function location because it's a hierarchical transfer. We can choose what exactly, basically. So that's what I want to
So
show you.
just curious, for cutover, then we are loading this through LSMW or what?
Perfect. Yeah, yeah, of course. We create through
Yeah,
LSMW
because
or we have LTMC or whatever it may be. Correct, correct. We do it like that. So now dismantle, you see, there are two options. Like for example, let me install first, then we see dismantle. So now I'm installing. Done. So we have done the installation of equipment at a function location. Now I want to go back and show you the structure of, let me go to IL033, that is the display of function location. Now I go to the highest level, temp, and now I click on this structural list. Now you see test underscore amp, and under this test amp x, and under this, now you see the equipment is installed at a function location. This is the way how we install equipment at a function location. Now I go to structure and click again here. Now we say we installed and we can dismantle also. Both options. You can dismantle with data transfer or simply dismantle. Okay. So I do dismantle. Then we remove the function location and say okay. That's it. Then the equipment is free. Okay. This is very important. Fine. Like this we install. Now we have seen equipment installation at a function location. We install in the other way. For example, did I remove it or not? Did I save it or not? So I go to change. You can directly click here, change button. So now I go to structure. I remove the function location. Okay. Dismantle with the data transfer or whatever it may be. Say okay. I remove the function location. I save. So now equipment is not. I refresh this. Then there is no equipment here. Now we do it in a different way. For example, I go to last level of function location. Change. I blocked it or what? Okay. I blocked this. Change function location. Okay, I blocked here. Now we are in fourth level, XX12, and go here. This button I told you. So equipment. So we can directly input the equipment number here. That is another way of installing equipment at a function location. Copy this guy here and go paste it. Greater than 4502.
Yeah. So, but does it then give you same options of data transfer or?
Correct. Must be greater. Oh, time it's saying. Okay. What is it? 4502.
407, I think, in your machine right now. So.
Future. Oh, it's, you see.
Oh.
What is the oh, my server time is different maybe.
Okay.
We are 1 hour back or what? Correct. I see somewhere 3. What is 47? Huh? Says 356.
Should be as per UTC, right?
UTC something like that. It is not allowing. This one must be greater than 405. Why? We have used right. Just a second. 405. 406 we used right before. We tried or what?
Where are you based?
You see, 406 is accepting. Huh?
Okay.
Now I come back and I save it. Sri. Now we have installed this way also at a function location. Okay.
Mhm.
And now we again go back to this hierarchy and we see. So 2 ways. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
So now in this class we created equipment and we have seen some of the fields, what error we have filled, and then we created a function location and we installed equipment at a function location, or we go to the function location and install equipment. And what are the prerequisites, Sri, to install equipment at a function location?
We said the equipment category must permit, and
Excellent.
then
Excellent.
the install group at the function level should be.
Equipment installed should be checked. Okay,
Yeah,
this
equipment
we
install
will
must be
check
allowed. Yeah.
now we will test this. For example, now I go to the function location 4th level. You see there is an option here in PM. For example, you click here and go to display and directly click on the change button. So it will take you to the change mode. And now I remove this equipment first. How to remove this equipment? You see, dismantling. Select this, dismantling. Okay, and come back and save. Now we test our rule. Again, go back here, change, structure, equipment installation allowed. I did not, I uncheck it. Now I save. Okay, we don't have equipment here. Now I go and I try to install this equipment. Let us see what happens. Structure, change mode, this one. You see,
Yeah.
installation equipment is not allowed. So why it will go to the tab? It will not go to that page. So that's the meaning
So,
here.
question.
Hmm.
So, are there functional locations where there is no equipment needed, and would they still be created in the system then? And why would they give that option? So, just
To create a function location, that
no.
option will not be
In
there, Sri, basically.
business
Yeah.
process, would there
Hmm.
be need for function location? There may be function locations without equipment, right?
Correct. Correct. That is also possible. That all requirement from the business. For example, in some plants, what they do is for tracking of the locations itself, they will create function locations. That's it.
Okay.
It will not have any equipment, only for tracking. So to identify that area, they create function locations. That is also happens. Good. That's also possible. So, but mostly these are very less level of function locations would be there. Hardly, maybe 10s or 20s. But all function locations will have equipments installed. They define in such a way. Okay.
Yeah.
This is very
Okay.
important. And yeah, I think, okay, maybe we will cover other also. So equipment function location also we have seen work center, right? Okay. I'll create work center and then we'll close this call today because Navin Garu told me to take only 1 hour. Okay. Fine. Now
Okay.
we go to one more important master data called work center. Okay. To create work center, we have a transaction. We have different types of transactions. There are 2 types of transactions. We create work center through IR01. There is a transaction. Please note it down. IR01. This is a work center. Create work center or CR01. One more transaction. Same. It
Why
comes to
the
the same.
difference, or why the difference they gave, or
We have 2 T codes to create. It's nothing different. That's an option. So now I go to IR01. You see here, plant. We always create work center in a plant. So this is very important. So work centers are created in a plant. Basically means people will working in a plant, right? Work in a plant, right? So must be there inside a plant. So I put 1010 as our plant and work center.
and that can be planning plant or maintenance plant, but normally maintenance plant.
Yeah, it depends. Your wish based maintenance plant, correct? It must be a maintenance plant where the maintenance will be carried out. The work center guys will sit there only, right? Okay, correct.
Okay.
Next, work center, for example, let me see it allows me or not. Test underscore WC. And what is the work center category I said, Sri? Do you remember?
Zeros, no, machines, right?
Five.
50005, yeah.
Perfect. You remember, Sri, these are the very important things. Huh? So
Yeah, once I
0005.
practice, I'll get it. But yeah, I
Perfect. No
understand.
problem. No problem. Just I'm asking. Okay. Now you see, I press enter, then it will take me to the work center. So test WC, test work center. Person responsible. Okay, it depends. You can define a person responsible for this work center, right? Like a leader, supervisor. For example, you see, create work center supervisor. So work center, I told you already in last class, work center is nothing but group of people or a single person or a group of missions or a mission, basically. So then what we do is we create a person responsible. If it is group of persons, we create a lead, for example. So this guy is a work center supervisor for this test work center, maybe test work center electrical work, for example. Electrical. Assuming that is electrical work center and a supervisor is assigned, and usage, this is also important field. Usage is we use it for plant maintenance, basically, correct? So, and we use always here maintenance task list, basically here. You can use it for, okay, maintenance task list 4. Standard value key, these are some of the standard fields we can use it. SAP 0 and default values we don't use. Capacities, control key, we discussed this later. Control key is very important. Define an operation is internal or external. Okay, for example, you see PM01, PM02, PM03. Control key says the operation is internal or external. We discuss in detail in order creation. Okay, not now. Capacities, capacity, how much is the capacity and all we can define here. Scheduling, we can use it here. What is the capacity category? We use standard capacity category, basically here 002 person. This is we told this is a person, right? Capacity category is not assigned to work center, so we can use different one then. Mission or whatever it may be. Let us see mission is assigned or not. Mission is also not there. Okay, let us go to the, it's not the,
No, I think in the capacities tab, did you have to do something?
no, yeah, sorry, correct, I missed it. Test underscore work center, yeah, correct, I did not assign, right, correct. So person responsible and capacity, okay, standard value key is SAP 0, correct. Yeah, here I have to assign the category. Person. Yes, now it is going to the capacity in detail. So now you can see if I have persons in my work center, then I can define what is the capacity category, how many people are working under this work center. So capacities and capacity responsible. So you define who is responsible for this capacity. For example, planner group A. We use the planner groups here also we use. And then capacity utilization is 100%, for example. Number of individual capacities. I said, right, for example, this work center, we define it for people. So I say 4 people are there. And capacity base unit, hours, for example. Okay, you can set up formula. This is standard fields. So I go for labor time. Okay, we can choose 00. It says not used, but okay, we can use 0. It depends. Suppose 00 is not there. Okay, and then we can we
This
fill
is
this.
all configuration setup, those.
Correct. So person, I put it here. Now it will agree because we have assigned already. And costing is very important. We should have a cost center for this accounting purpose. So this work center, guys, I mean their prices say basically. So this work center I have 4 people, and these 4 people will have a cost center where the cost comes from for these guys from this cost center only. Basically, it's a cost object. You know, right? You're already MM consultant,
Yeah.
basically. So I take this cost center, for example, one cost center, I take it. financials or whatever it may be. Activity type. This is also one more important thing. Activity type, why we define is, we define their prices, how much they charge for 1 hour. So we have 4 guys here. Okay, no activity types assigned. We have to create these activity types, but it's okay at the moment. How much they charge for 1 hour. So that will be, we track it through activity type. Very, very important. This is technology. We don't have anything. Mission type. Okay, let me fill the mission type here. What is this mission type? Drilling or whatever it may be. Short string. We don't use something because they put as, these are configuration. Huh? So they put it as mandatory field, so we need to so some of these tabs we don't use normally in practice. Technology we remove it. Groups also we don't use. Basically we use basic data, capacity, scheduling and costing important. So now work center is ready and I can save the work center. That's it. So we can use this work center in our equipment or function location basically. Okay, fine. Any questions, Sri?
So the 3 objects we created, right? If you go
correct.
back to the organization structure, let's just try to connect, make sure I'm
Sure, no problem.
closing the call with like, you know, in clear in my head.
Yeah, makes fine, makes sense. Yeah, that's true. See here. So we have seen client controlling area, company code,
Right.
maintenance plant or planning plant. We have seen the assignment
Right.
here, plant, and then we have seen locations, plant section. We have seen planner groups. We have seen work center. We have seen, and we in fact created master data, equipment master data, function location master data.
Yes.
So
Okay.
exactly, and work center. Okay, we continue next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Going further,
So
other master data.
so sorry, last question. So now the assignment of the equipment to the work center is the next step, right here?
Yeah, we have correct. We have done already this with a dummy work center here. This is
Right.
production work center and
Okay,
organization. Yeah, now you can create an equipment and you can create your own work center and you can assign here, or you can assign our work center here. No
Okay.
problem. That you can do. Maybe if you have access, you can do it later. You create
All right.
equipment, Sri, and you create a function location and you create a different. You do it, Sri. This exercise you do it. For example, go to function location customization structural indicator. You define a new entry. Okay, test structure or whatever maybe. You define the 8 mask, Sri. Okay, you create a 5-level 8 mask here. Okay, for example here 4 levels, right? You create a new structure and create a 5-level and create 5-level function location, create equipment and install that equipment at a function location. Okay, and create work centers and use that work centers in equipment or function location. Then you know. Okay, clear? You try to do this.
All right, let me
Okay,
practice. Yep.
perfect. So thank you, Sri. That's it.
Yeah, thanks, man. Take care.
Talk to
Where
you
are you
next week.
based? Sorry, where are you based from?
I'm in Germany, Sri.
Oh, you're in Germany. Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
So
I'm in
it's what,
Germany.
afternoon for you now?
Perfect. Yeah, correct. It's 1:20 in the afternoon. What is the
Okay.
time there, man? Night, right?
No,
Later
it's
morning.
morning 7.
Oh,
So the class starts at 6 o'clock, right? 6
6 in the
p.m.
morning. Good. Sorry,
No,
weekends.
no, all good.
Got to
No,
get
for
up
me,
early.
okay. It's now I have MM class after this.
Is it?
Yeah, 4 hours
Okay.
on weekends.
4 hours. Okay. Okay, man. A lot to
All right.
take at your mind. But
No,
okay.
it's
But
yeah.
do
All right.
practice, Sri. It's important.
I
So
will.
I'll ask you some questions next week. Okay. Chalo.
All right. Catch up. Yeah. See you.
Thank you, Sri. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.